They throw their stones, they sling their lies, paint me as a monster in strangers' eyes. 10 long years, a twisted game, setting me up and shouting my name. They think they own the truth they bend, but I know this war won't end the way they intend. I can hit back, let the anger fly, but that's the hook, that's the reason why. They're poking the bear just to see me break. I won't give them the win, I won't take the bait. I'm gonna starve the fire, let the embers die. Won't feed the liars, won't dignify the poison they're spitting, the traps they lay. I'll rise above, let the truth have its day. Starve the fire, keep my soul intact. I'll win by living and I won't look back. It's online bullying dressed in disguise. They get their power from the hurt in my eyes. But every time I walk away, I'm taking their fuel, I'm changing the play. They want me in chains, but I won't be bound. My life's too loud to be drowned by this sound. I could hit hard, I could hit fast, but that make me the headline they want it last. Instead I'll stand, let my silence speak. Strength is quiet when the loud are weak. I'm gonna starve the fire, let the embers die. Won't feed the liars, won't dignify the poison they're spitting, the traps they lay. I'll rise above, let the truth have its day. Starve the fire, keep my soul intact. I'll win by living and I won't look back. They can scream my name, twist every fact, but time's the judge and truth fights back. They'll fade to dust, I'll still be here, walking my path without their fear. Starve the fire, let the embers die. Won't feed the liars, won't dignify the poison they're spitting, the traps they lay. I'll rise above, let the truth have its day. Starve the fire, keep my soul intact. I'll win by living and I won't look back. No reaction, no more games. They'll burn themselves in their own flames.
Hello, Emily. Good to have you in the house. No one's speaking. I don't think there's many people here. I mean, what I just want to kind of maybe get off my chest is, how the hell did we find ourselves on YouTube? You know, I mean, we often talk about multi-dimensional universes, about how, you know, every decision creates a its own universe. But crikey, I think it's a question we all need to ask ourselves. How the fuck did we end up on YouTube? It's a shocker. I tell you, it's a shocker. Yeah, dreadful, really. Dreadful. How did it all end up like this? Bloody hell. How did it all end up like this? And where is it all going to end? You know? Rule Britannia. Mouse. Hello, Mouse. Mouse, how did we end up on YouTube, eh? I mean, all of us, we've put at least 10 years into this. And where has it got us? Eh? Where has it got us? It's got me in a shitload of poo. It ruins people. Sends people do dally. How did we, and why did we, and where is it all going to take us? I mean, what are we doing? I know, you know, a lot of people don't watch TV anymore. Oh, so we got Mouse at Pip Smoker. A lot of people saying, you're grubby. You're grubby. Eh? What do you have to say about that then? What do you have to say about that then? Well, War Britannia says I'm not Mouse. Okay, denial. But then again, you know, this whole fucking bullshit of YouTube in which people just come on and just fucking take the mick and gaslight and lie. I mean, I've been there, I've done it, mate, you know? But I'm obviously the nutter who comes in and uses my real name. I mean, what kind of fool does that? A fool that comes from Brighton. You know what I mean? Emily says, I ended up on YouTube due to recovery from my accident. All right, well done. Well, it looks like Emily's got has got a valid reason to end up on YouTube. How did I end up on YouTube? I was uploading family videos. That's how I first done it. I got myself a camera. Got myself a camera. Way back. Before the family came along. And I just found it, you know, I was doing all my home videos. And I used YouTube to have a place to put all my own home videos up, and it just spread from that. And then I realised, you know, I quite like this video editing. And it's been downhill ever since. Where's the mouse? Well, a lot of people think Royal Britannia is the mouse. But the mouse has ruled it out. A lot of people think Pit Smoker is Robbie, but I haven't got a clue who Robbie is. But what we have got is a situation in which people do lie to get on by. You know what I mean? I still think Tony Quigley did a whopper when he said he wasn't the Tony Quigley in the Hollow Pond Fire article. You know, but we're in this situation in which we suspect people of lying, but we can't prove it. You know what I mean? Emily says, and that's where I came across you, Matt. I think being in Sussex was due to me coming across you. I mean, to be fair, I didn't know much about you until Justin came on the scene. Oh, but mind you, you did contact me with that Francis account, didn't you? That's it. You were talking to each other in the Francis account before Justin came along. But either way, I mean, that's something which I want to like express. But all of us have had our own little relationships, and those relationships have been skewered by other people coming in, other allegiances. You know, oh, I can no longer be a friend with you anymore because you're a friend with her, and I'm not going to talk to you anymore because you're with him. I mean, if we could go back in time, knowing what we know now about YouTube, in all probability, you know, I wouldn't touch it with a barge pole. Not that I've ever got my hand on a barge pole before, but I suppose, you know, more fitting thing to say is I wouldn't touch YouTube with a broomstick. Stop it, Matt. Oh, come on now. Well, you know, when have I ever stopped it? Do I even know how to stop it? You know what I mean? Is the word stop in my vocabulary? Obviously not. I mean, don't think for a moment Mouse isn't out there using a sock puppet account. Don't think for a moment. I don't think for a moment, you know, the incel from Preston isn't out there using a sock puppet account, because we know they use sock puppet accounts. You know, we've got the mouse boasting of 227, and that's a lot. That's a lot of stuff. COVID isn't a very good troll, is he? Well, let's discuss that. I mean, I see COVID as a valued member of YouTube, or at least our crazy corner of YouTube. You know, he's his own man. I mean, hey, look, Emily fell in love with him. You know, so there must be something nice about him. Frankie, do you remember me, Frankie? Do you remember me, Frankie? What a great song. Do you remember? I was watching something about Eddie Murphy tonight. Today it was. Hey Frankie, I was walking down the street one day when I looked up and I saw a friend. Hey Frankie, do you remember me? He looked at me and then I blushed, because I remembered I loved you so much. Way back then, we were friends, going together. But then you left me, Frankie. Yes. That sounds a bit grapey, Matt. Right. Then Tarragon, are we still having the conversation? Yeah, we can have it now if you want. We're still having a conversation? Yeah, sure. We can have a conversation. No time like the present. Then Tarragon's in the house. Hoi polloi. Katie's crazy. Come on, you know, we're all crazy. Kaylee has been driven crazy by YouTube, so I don't think we should really, you know, blame Kaylee for that. Kelly says Jupiter caused the trouble in the Middle East, now going to sing karaoke, and anyway, I don't really mind. I don't really mind, you know. We've all got our own journeys. We've all got our own thingy bobs, I think is the term. I think we've all got our own thingy bobs to deal with on YouTube. Matt says he's scared of them Tarragon. So true. That's the one, Matt. Yeah. Give me 5. Give me 5 min. Okay, I'll give you 5 min. No, I don't want it back. No, I'm willing to give it to you. If you said any more, any less, I may have dithered. But seeing as you asked for 5, yes, you can have 5. You can have 5 on me. YouTube. I mean, there's a part of me that's saying, I hope it's going to be worth it. You know, I hope all this is worth it. I mean, for me personally, great thing about YouTube is that I get to fulfill my dream of hosting my own show. I'm not sure what you can't talk about, by the way. Well, that was the whole point of the private conversation, you know. Just a quick conversation, say, hi Den, yeah, looking forward to talking to you. Look, while we're talking privately, can we not talk about A, B, C or D? You know, that's why I fucking asked. I asked politely, maybe have a nice little private chat just before so we can set the boundaries. But no, I don't think we need that. I don't think we need that. Complete transparency. Fucking hell, you know. I've always been under the impression that I only ask for things when I expect the answer to be yes. You know, I don't ask to do things if I expect the answer to be no. I don't bother asking. But either way, fucking hell. You know, I just had this crazy notion that the world would be a better place if everyone did exactly what I suggest. What an ego. What an ego. You know, and remember, stop bashing narcissists. You know, hug a narcissist. Hello, Tube. It's good to see you in here, Tube. Nice to see you. To see you, nice. So we've got Tube England, we've got Pip Smoker who denies it's Robbie, we've got Den, we've got Emily, and we've got Raw Britannia who denies it's Mouse. But then again, we do know people have sock puppet accounts, and if you've been active for 10 years plus on YouTube and you've gone quiet on using your traditional account, it's odds on that you're still around using a sock puppet account. You know, that's my experience of YouTube anyway. But yeah, I mean, I personally love YouTube because, I mean, look at me now. It's past 11, hot as fuck. I'm sitting here half naked, and I'm able to broadcast to the world. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I don't do private chats. Oh, fuck off. I don't like to do private chats rather than, yeah. Well, I heard this thing that you were trying to, wasn't someone saying that you wanted a private chat with someone to get some dirt on Jupiter or somebody like that? I didn't really pay much attention. Yeah, but no one likes to do private chats unless it's in their kind of like, unless it's in their interest. I mean, I would have liked just a very quick, hi Den, yeah, nice to meet you. We'll have a chat. Can we not talk about A, B, C, or D? You know, that would have taken away any kind of worries, because I'm a bit worried now. You know, whether you're going to come in and say something that I'm not allowed to discuss, and then the whole thing gets lost. You know, don't believe everything you hear, mate. Oh, well, you know, it's just that people telling me what else to do. Well, why shouldn't I believe? I mean, it's good advice, but I like to, and I always have liked to learn it myself. I'd like to take everything for face value, and if I find out later that, oh, here we go. Hello, Den. Good to have you.
Evening, Matt.
Right, it's been a while. Well, in fact, I don't think it's been a while. I don't think it's ever happened before.
No, don't.
I don't think we've ever discussed, have we?
No, I don't think so. Could be wrong, but I don't think we have.
So listen, thanks ever so much for coming on, having a chat. I mean, the reason why I'd like to have a chat with you is because all too often I hear you on YouTube calling John Manoa a scammer, and honestly, and for someone like yourself who relies on facts and who puts so much emphasis on facts, I think it's important just to pull you up on that. And so the first thing is, I mean, how do you define a fact? What is your definition of a fact?
I don't think realistically it's even relevant anymore, is it?
What a definite? Well, are you talking about the definition of a fact, or whether John Manoa is a scammer or not?
Well, he is a scammer. We know that. The evidence.
No, stop, and that gets my back up, because you talk as if that's a definite conclusion.
Yeah.
Well, how did he come to that conclusion? And
all right.
So what facts?
So do you remember?
How do you define a fact?
Right. So do you remember when he went to court?
No.
You don't remember when he went to court?
I remember. No, not really. But are you bringing that thing up where he visited. What building did he visit then?
Can't remember off the top of my head.
So,
So
how do you know it was a court then?
it was a court to put the case in or whatever.
So, what court was this?
I'm sure you was there, was you not?
No, I've never met John.
Oh, you've never met John?
No, and he's come to England once, hasn't he? He came once, and then he was stopped the second time.
Yeah.
So, okay, so
Cool.
yeah, carry on then. Just out of interest, first of all, you don't know what building he went to or what
I
court.
can't remember off the top of my head. It was a court. It's the one Tracy Blackwell met him outside of, if you remember.
I don't. So it was a Crown Court, was it, or was it a magistrate's court in the UK?
Off the top of my head, I'd just be guessing. I don't know.
Okay, so that can't be put into.
Well, I could go and fact check if it was worth it, but it was a court regardless, Matt.
Okay, and what happened at this court then?
They've gone in, they've shown the clerk and all this, whatever, a big load of paperwork and whatever.
That was all the paperwork of John's, wasn't it? It was his affidavit and
yeah, it was also it's like a big scrapbook of stuff or whatever. They told him clearly that it's not a case, it's not something that you could look at, it's history, nothing more. And they give him a slip with a date stamp and whatever, just to show that they've been in the court.
Okay.
They asked for that. It was like, we can't take it, we can't. All it is history. There's, it's not a case.
Well, it was his affidavit of truth, wasn't it?
What's his name? That guy. Trying to think of his name. It was a while ago, wasn't it? Matt, not Matt. Lee Khan or something.
Yeah.
He was there and he went, oh, well, can we not just have, can we get like something stamped on it or whatever, just to say that we've been here? And they give him a compliment slip and he's like stamped that. And then he was going on saying, we can just glue it on. I've got the video there somewhere. We can just glue it on, blah, blah, blah. And then when they've come outside, they said, oh, it's been accepted. It's all been court sealed, approved, blah, blah, blah. And then set Tracy Blackwell off on everything, everyone needs to get behind this or whatever. And that's where it went wrong.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So did the court actually take his paperwork?
No.
Right. No. Okay. Fair enough. So thank you for sharing that. And so what relevance has that got to him being a scammer or not?
Well, he's come outside and told everybody it's all court sealed, approved, or authenticated, you name it, whatever.
Okay, fair enough. So that's their interpretation of what happened, isn't it? They feel as if they went in there, showed their paperwork, and they've come out. And I'm
surprised you don't know this, to be honest, Matt.
Well, because it's irrelevant. That pit is irrelevant.
No, it's irrelevant to you, maybe, but to anyone looking for the truth, the facts, and the evidence. You're
using that as the basis of it being a scam, but I don't see how it's a scam based on that incident.
So, right. So you don't think him going in, being told it's not a case, but then coming out and telling everyone that it is a case and it's all been court sealed, approved.
Yeah, John's spent his whole life doing this, isn't it? He's got his affidavit of truth. He says, this is my truth. This is what I believe has happened. I'm going to go into a court in the UK and give my paperwork to a court so it's in their system, isn't it? Do you reckon that was what his intention was?
I don't know what his intention was. All I know is he was told it wasn't a case.
So you don't know what his intention was, but yet you call it a scam.
Well, it was a scam, obviously.
How was it a scam?
I've just explained.
What?
Just
come out on that paperwork thing. So you
right.
say
Let's be real. Let's be real, Matt. Yeah. They was asking the veterans to go and storm Parliament based off that paperwork. So that paperwork is quite relevant, isn't it?
Not really, no.
What do you mean, not really?
You got wrong. He wasn't asking.
I haven't got anything wrong, Matt. The
No,
reason it
I was
failed
there
is
then.
why
I was there then. He wasn't asking the veterans to do fuck all like that.
I've got videos of him doing it and trying to bully the veterans, putting £1 trillion reward on the heads
yeah,
and all
yeah,
sorts. Matt.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's funny. I thought that was, and that was quite right. You know, because ultimately a John Winnow revolution would have seen a new economy with shitloads of money, and he of course would have wanted to have retribution on all you lot who just attacked him and sabotaged his live stream.
no. At the end of the day, Matt, it was a scam. It was a treasonous plot, and it would have put the veterans in prison or worse. So at that
John
point,
Winnow wasn't
people had
asking
to step
the
in.
veterans to join him. All he was asking the veterans for was not to believe the likes of you.
No, that's untrue. That's
Well, I
untrue.
was there,
It doesn't matter whether he was there. I've got
but
it
you
on
weren't.
video. I've got it on video though.
But you weren't there.
It doesn't matter if he was
It
there. I
does
have it
matter
on
because I
video.
was there, and I know what John wanted from the veterans. He just wanted to be left to do his own things, and he wanted the veterans not to believe the likes of you.
So you don't think Andy Devine was literally trying to bully the veterans into signing up to all
No,
this
I think the
madness?
people who were bullying the veterans were you telling them that John Winnow was a scammer, and the likes of Kirkton and Gary. They were the ones who were bullying the veterans.
No, that's called introducing the facts and showing how it was a
But you
scam.
can't even define what a fact is at the moment.
Well, I've just walked you through how it was a scam. I don't know what else you want to do.
How is it a scam?
Why would
For
somebody? Why
me,
would
for
if
it to,
something was genuine, Matt? Why would they come out and tell lies? Why would they just say, "Oh, they wouldn't accept it"? They said it was just history. Why would you come out and tell a lie?
I don't know whether it was a lie. I'm just hearing it from you.
Right. Well, I'll
You know,
find the video. I'll
and
find the video and I'll
everyone
tag you
looks
in
at
it, Matt.
a certain event and they
Yeah.
interpret it differently. So either way, I mean, they may have come out and said, "Listen, we've shown the paperwork." In fact, I don't know anything about that, but I can't see that being a scam just because they've gone in there with the intention of handing their paperwork over.
Will you explain the lie then? Why would they lie?
It isn't a lie.
Well,
It's an
it is. If
interpretation.
you go in and
Two
say,
people can see one event and interpret it in two different ways, and I think that's what's happened on that particular incident.
there was literally a little crew of them that went in and it was all recording like it was a big, a big reveal of what's going to happen and it's all going to go down in
Okay,
history.
so that's one
And it just
incident.
got turned down. It
Okay,
got
that's
turned
fine.
down. And then they've come
That
out and
doesn't
then they've
change the
lied
fact
to people.
that okay. For me, a fact is something that you can see, experience with your five senses. That is
Well, that's why I said I can tag you in the video.
a fact is something that another person can concur with and say, yeah, I saw the same thing with my five senses, and I concur with you that it was what you saw. So we can be like positive on the fact that it's a fact.
I'm just
So
struggling as to how you're not aware of
constitutes
this,
a
though,
scam?
Matt.
Something
You was wrapped around that
constitutes a
fully.
scam is you need to have victims. You need to have kind of like a police report, a complaint, someone who's like made a complaint and said, "I've lost money because of John Winnow."
Yeah,
Because
there's
John
plenty of
Winnow is
people.
putting out false information.
There was plenty of people, most of them veterans. Yeah.
No, bullshit.
No, it's
Bullshit.
not bullshit.
That is
It's not
rubbish.
bullshit.
No, it is. That is rubbish. It's not
CMW
one
managed to get some of the money back off. What's his name?
Listen, the reason
What's
why
his
the
name?
shares couldn't go through is because he was sabotaged.
No, the reason you can't sell shares in a business that doesn't exist is because that would be a scam, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but no, yeah, that would be. I agree. We can
Mm-hmm.
agree on that. A sell of a share in a business that doesn't exist is definitely a scam in my eyes.
Right. So if I've got a certificate of a share in a business that doesn't exist,
Yeah, that'd be a scam.
that'd be problematic,
Yeah,
wouldn't
absolutely. We both agree on that.
it? Yeah.
And
That's what
I
I'm
don't think
saying.
anyone was issued with a share certificate for that
Jason, what's his name?
Moai Tidal Energy.
Is it Jason Waugh?
I don't
I
know who
think it
Jason
was.
Moore is.
Jason
No
Waugh.
one was issued a share certificate because no shares were sold because the whole thing was sabotaged before that could happen.
I've literally produced the evidence. I've already put it out time ago.
Well,
So
I haven't seen it. Complete
I
sounds like
can find it. I can
I was
find
right
it.
in the middle of that.
Yeah.
And the only reason the company was failed to get registered was
Mhm.
because Lee Kant put my name down with one T, and it was two T's. So when I went to Barclays to open up the business bank account, they checked my name on Company's House, but on Company's House it had Matthew with one T, and then my passport said Matthew with two.
Yeah,
So that
but
was why we weren't able to open up the bank account.
there was 36 bank accounts, weren't there?
36 bank accounts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where the fuck did you get that from?
Everything's been shown already, Matt.
Oh,
We're showing all this.
you've been shown this. That's news to me.
I've shown it all. It's all been
You've
put out
shown
on
that there's
live.
36
Yeah.
bank accounts in what
Yeah.
name or in what form?
What do you mean? Well, some of them, it was like what you're just saying there. So you've got one that's one T, and then you've got one that's double T and stuff like that.
Well, no, there's no bank
Over
account
36.
because
Basically,
Barclays
it's the
couldn't
best.
open a bank account.
It's the system of washing money, Matt.
Oh,
That
shut
was how
up.
it was.
You
No, I'm not
mate,
lying.
honestly, no, it's rubbish.
You should have come to the.
You
You should have come.
can't provide any evidence for it.
If you remember, Matt,
You give me a definition of what a scam is, and now you're coming out with this ridiculous stuff that there's
Matt,
36 bank accounts,
if you remember,
and that shares have been were issued. That's wrong. That's
Matt,
false information.
well, I've got the facts, Matt. So
No, you haven't got the facts because
no, I have.
you haven't. You've got an interpretation. You've got your own
No, I've got
interpretation.
the evidence. I've not got somebody say so. I've literally got the evidence, Matt.
No. Okay, so who's the victims of this so-called scam?
Mainly the veterans, wasn't it?
There's not one veteran who will come up and put their hand up and say, "Oh, excuse me,
They already
I was
have, Matt.
scammed."
They already have, Matt.
No, there isn't. There isn't. There is
I
not one
don't know. I don't know how you are like
I was there.
either making out that you're not, or seem to not be informed, considering you as one of the main front runners of. It don't really make sense that you don't know all this information.
Doesn't make sense then.
Well,
It's honestly,
why do you think it failed then, Matt? Why do you think?
Because it was sabotaged. Because John Manoa got sectioned.
Why do you think the veterans? Why do you think the veterans called it all out and called you all scammers?
The veterans didn't. You were calling it out as a scam, and you were influencing.
So you've not seen. So you've not seen the videos of Dean Cumberpatch and Simon.
Yeah, and why? Yeah? Yes, I saw
Simon
that. And that's the reason I went up to London to tell them to wind their neck in and stop calling John Manoa a scammer based on what you, Kirkton, and Clark were saying. Because you were sabotaging John Manoa without an understanding of what was John Manoa was trying to achieve.
You're aware of Gordon Bowden, aren't you, Matt?
What?
Gordon Bowden. You're aware of Gordon Bowden.
What about him?
Well, he can literally break down a scam, a fraud, and he can show you. He can break down where the money's being filtered, etc.
Oh, really?
Now, he was invited along with Andy Devine to Atherton Castle, where Andy Devine and John Manoa was exposed for a good an hour and a half. Everything was gone through with a fine-tooth comb and whatever. It was all exposed in front of an audience. So he did have an invite, as did Andy Devine. Andy Devine said he was coming, but then he didn't. So,
and the King, John Manoa, had nothing to do with charging veterans 50 quid for a Saskia View act, anything like that. That was more like
Jamie.
That was more like Jamie Freeman's pond. That had nothing to do with John Manoa. Hey, listen.
Well, to be fair, CMW. CMW did get some of the money back for veterans.
No veteran was scammed.
Well, there was, because
no veteran lost money.
No,
I
don't think that's the case, Matt.
You don't think?
See, you're saying shares wasn't sold, but I'm in
there were no official shares sold. No.
But how am I in receipt of the evidence of a share certificate for Jason Moore?
It's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit, because I know for a fact, how can you sell a share when
Mm-hmm.
number one, you haven't even got the company up and running, and you
Yeah,
haven't
that's
even
what
got a
we said.
company. And what I mean by a company up and running is that you haven't even got a company bank account. Yeah, you may have registered the name.
That's what we said.
Yeah, exactly. So whoever is putting, I know you lot go a long way to set people up, okay? And that's a fact if you want to talk about it, because we know the Andy Devine conspiracy, where you lot in your field of the YouTube raised £1,666 to declare Andy Devine dead. So we know you lot raise money for nefarious ends.
What?
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
You're not familiar with the Andy Devine conspiracy?
No.
Oh, that's a classic one. It's a
Soon as that fell apart, I walked away from it, Matt. It's now rain all there to me.
Well, no, you sabotaged it.
No, I just exposed it for what it was.
What was it then?
Right,
It was a
right.
legitimate. It was a
So
legitimate
Matt, we've just like got to some middle ground there. So I believe that if there was selling shares of a company that's not set up right and all that, and you agree the same. So if I've got the evidence of that, and then I
I'd
show
love
you,
to see that, because
right, I'll find it and I'll put it on a little video, and then I'll tag you
made
to
up
it.
by one of you lot. It'd be something you make. And the only reason John Manoa
Jason Moore has
was
admitted
because,
it. Jason Moore actually sent us the evidence. He went, "It's not a scam. Look, here's my certificate." Yeah.
well, yeah, I'd love to see that, because I'm not.
I will send it, you Matt. I will send it, you Matt, just to clear things in your head, and then we can box off and move forward in separate directions. Do you know what I mean?
So okay, so you using this Jason guy as a victim?
Well,
That's your only piece of evidence you can give.
If he's paid money for a share, then yeah, he's obviously
I'd
been
agree.
scammed.
If anyone paid money for a share in the Moai Tidal Energy, and that money went to John Manoa, then you've been scammed.
Well, you think Diana and Bill, that was the secretary after, I think it was, I can't remember the first person from Australia, is after she left, and then Diana and Bill was taking it over, and they've still got money on their table now.
They were donations.
Yeah, no, we're not doing donations.
No, they were donations. That money
No,
that
it
Karen
was
got were
changed to
donations.
donations after we pulled it all out and said,
No. That money was donations.
no, it's not.
Yes,
Matt.
it was.
It's not.
Yes, it was.
It's not.
Yes, it was.
It was called
money was
moving the
donation.
goalpost. It was called moving the goalpost.
No,
They were selling shares.
No, and it's perfectly legal for people to donate money to John.
Matt,
Donate money for John, because John was coming over to the
Matt,
UK.
I came on to have an honest, open conversation. If we're not going to do that, there's not much point, is there?
Well, but we have to agree on certain, facts.
But everything that you're saying and we're agreeing on, I'm saying to you, right, I'll find it and then I'll send it you. So you should be happy at that point. There's no point arguing the point. We're not going to.
No, we have to argue the points, because you're saying that money.
No, we don't. I've got one opinion.
Money for shares.
You've got another opinion.
That was money donated to John.
Matt,
and she actually stole that money. So if anyone's a victim, it's John Manoa.
Just listen to what I'm saying for 1 minute. You've got one opinion, I've got another, and somewhere in the middle is the truth, the facts, and the evidence. Now, I'm saying that I will dig back and go through all the evidence and whatever. I'll pull out the bits which I think you've missed, and then I'll tag you to it, and then we can maybe have another chat or something. Yeah. There's no point as arguing one opinion to another. We have to leave the discussion on facts and the evidence. Yeah.
Well, I don't think you're doing particularly well on presenting your facts, because at the moment it's just all hearsay and interpretation.
I'm not being funny about it. I'm not being funny, but it was literally years ago. It's literally irrelevant. Now, that's what I said at the beginning of the call.
It now. It may be years ago, but yet you are still bringing it up.
The only reason I bring it up is because Jason Tyler was around all that shit, and he's trying to make out
you bring it up whenever you get the opportunity to bring it up. I hear you a lot online, and you just come out of it. Oh no, the King's Flag scam.
Yeah,
It's not a scam. It's in your interpretation. It was a scam.
no,
Nothing
I've just
about that
told
was
you. I've got
legal.
the evidence, Matt.
We
It's
live
your
in a
opinion
capitalist
that,
world in which anyone is allowed to raise funds through
Matt.
share sales,
Matt, it's your opinion that it's not a scam, but because
and it's
we've
your
gone
opinion
through
that
it
it is a
all
scam,
and we've exposed it
and it's
in
your
Aberdeen
opinion that it
Castle
is
and
a scam.
whatever with a fraud expert, Gordon Bowden, we can
Gordon
safely say
Bowden
that it
was
is a scam.
shit. Gordon Bowden was shit
I
at what
won't
he
be
did.
kill of the dead, personally, Matt,
Well,
but you've got your own set of morals, haven't you?
in that time, in fact, someone in the den. Why did you call Den Tarragon a pedo? Remember, you called me a paedophile first.
No, I said he was a pedo protector.
No, the exact quote was that you're a pedo, and if you don't like it, sue me. Right? Those were your words, and I just mirrored it straight back at you. And that was at the same time in which Gordon Bowden reported me, because I rang him up. I said, "Excuse me, what are you doing calling me a pedo?" It was you and Den.
I'm trying to think what I actually
And then I
called you.
said, "What
We're
are
a
you doing?" Ring
pedo.
me up. And then I rang him up again because he put the phone down, and he contacted Sussex Police and accused me of harassing him. And so that's why I lost all respect for him then.
Right, so Matt, you've got to understand that Danny Jones tried to infiltrate CMW. When he did that, all he brought forward was a court order. I'm trying to be careful because I don't know what it is you can't talk about, but all he brought forward was a court order, and he admitted that he broke that court order twice.
Broke the court order. Oh, right.
Danny Jones, yeah.
What,
So,
and I'm sorry to interrupt here, but I remember you talking to Danny Jones about how Danny Jones rang his mate up in Heathrow to stop John
yeah,
Minogue. So do you reckon that was a legit way to stop someone coming into the country?
I would have rather him actually come, to be
Because I think
honest.
that was fucking bang out of order.
I would have rather him come,
I
to
think
be
it was a
honest.
sabotage. I think that was a extrajudicial, whatever what I'm trying to say. It was an abuse of procedural power that Danny Jones was able to ring his mate up in Heathrow and stop John Minogue. And that's exactly what I mean by sabotaging the whole project. Because
I would
it was
have rather him actually got here, arrived and
so would have I.
yeah.
So would have
Well,
I.
it made death threats to myself and people I know, innit? So
Hey, listen, were you really nice to John Minogue? Is that what you're saying?
was it nice to him?
Were you really nice? Were you polite and like
I was
welcoming?
civil.
For fuck's sake, were you? You weren't. You. How can you be civil to someone when you call them a scammer?
Well,
That's
I'm
not
being
being civil
civil
to
to you
someone.
now, and I called you a scammer, didn't I?
Yeah, you called me a scammer, and what? And you
And
think
we're
you're being
being
civil
civil
to me?
now, aren't we? That's how
And
it was
that's
with
why I
you.
know you're talking rubbish, because I certainly haven't been involved in a scam, and nothing that John Minogue was doing was a scam.
Except I've got the evidence which proves
Well,
it
yeah, you
was.
say that, but until it's presented and other people deem it as evidence, it's hearsay. And that's what I
I'm
think.
probably not. I'm
That's what I
probably
think
not going
you
to
have
go
done.
through hours of
You've
lives
called
just
it
to
a
find it,
scam
man.
on hearsay,
I'll
and
find the document itself.
nothing that would be admissible in a court of law.
It never got to the court of law,
Of
Matt. This
course,
is the
but
whole point.
anything that you think is evidence, I don't think would be admissible in a court of law, because it's your interpretation of events, and then your interpretation of events
No,
doesn't
we've
equate
just
to
agreed, Matt.
evidential value.
No. We've just agreed that you cannot sell shares in a business that doesn't exist. We've just agreed on that.
I agree.
That is
Yeah,
law. So, and
and
if that
until
has
you show
happened,
me evidence,
yeah, I will do.
yeah,
If
well,
if I say
until then,
something,
it's
I
just
will do
hearsay.
it, Matt. I
Until then,
won't be able to just do it today or whatever. I've got so many devices. I'll have to look for it. It's there somewhere. I'll find it for
everything is there somewhere, isn't it?
you. Yeah.
Yeah, but I tell you, a lot of what people think has evidential value is actually worthless in a court of law.
If you
That's
remember,
why it takes lawyers years to attain, the benchmark of a lawyer.
if you remember,
You think
everyone was going mad at
evidence,
Jason
other people
War
say that's just rubbish. That's hearsay.
If you remember, Jason War was having
I
loads
don't
of
know who
people.
Jason Moore is.
Jason War was part of your group. He was a big part of your group.
I don't know who Jason Moore is. Sorry. So
I think it was originally a Pendragon because he was using that like, you know, we're pulling people from your group. So,
this
and then he
Jason,
thought he was clever saying, "Oh, it's not a
Jason Moore was
scam.
part
Look,
of the team.
here's me." No, he was talking to someone in the Dragons, and he said, "Oh, it's not a scam. Look, here's my certificate of whatever I bought shares in it or whatever." So it was actually Jason Moore, which proved it was a scam, which was in your group. So
Well,
that's why he was laughing. He's like, he thinks he's being clever, proving that, you
I'll
know,
be interested to see what document he was actually showing.
yeah.
It could have been a reservation for a share,
No.
but it certainly wasn't a share because the company wasn't even set
That
up. It was
that was when
sabotaged
Andy Devine started saying
before you could
it's
put shares out.
donations now. For all that time previous, 9 months before that, it was a share, and then it changed to
If anything,
donations.
how can it be a share when the company
Exactly,
bank
Matt.
account wasn't even set up? So
Exactly,
whatever
Matt.
Jason has got, it was certainly not a share. It may be a placeholder for a share. It may be
No,
saying, "We've got your £25,
no.
and here's a
It
certificate
handed
saying
money
that
over
your
and
share is
received.
coming."
It handed money over and received a share
A
certificate.
lot of people handed donations over.
No, it weren't donation.
A lot
It
of
was a
well,
share
hang on a sec.
certificate,
Are
Matt.
you denying people handed donations over?
They probably did.
They
They
did.
probably did.
They
Yeah.
did because
But
that
people
Karen
was
ended up
also
having
selling.
£400 of it, didn't she?
Well, people was
That
still
Karen ended up
selling
having
shares, Matt.
£400 that was donated to John Wanoa, but she pocketed herself.
Yeah, but that's just deflection to
No,
donations.
and we're talking about scammers. First of all, if anyone is a scammer, it's Karen by taking that money that was donated to John for herself. So
Who's
straight off,
Karen?
John Wanoa is a victim of a scam.
Who's Karen?
Well, sorry, that
Diana?
no, okay, maybe Diana, yeah.
Yeah.
Who was that lady who burned the flag on film? Was that Diana?
I don't think so. Was it not Kayla that did that?
Kaylee certainly never burnt the flag. No, the woman who burnt the flag was the same person who in my understanding, took donations which were meant for John.
Well, she'd been asked to open bank accounts for it, wasn't she? He was trying to use her as a fucking
Well, he
laundrette
asked
for
me to
money.
open a bank account for him.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to do these things,
Well,
Matt.
as a company of a director, I am.
But it weren't a company.
It was. It
It
was a
wasn't, Matt.
company. It was registered in
We've
Companies House.
just agreed it wasn't a company.
But it was. But after a year, because we couldn't
Mm.
renew it, because John Manoa was in a nut house and I was going through my own legal woes, we couldn't renew it. So at that time, when I walked into Barclays to open a business bank account, it was a registered company. But the only reason we couldn't open that bank account was because bloody Lee Kant, no fault of his own, put my name down with 1 T instead of 2. And so that was why. And then after a year, it couldn't be renewed. And if anyone is to blame for that, I am to blame.
Were you?
I am to blame for that company folding after a year because I wasn't able to perform my duties as a director. And so I put my hand up to that. But of course, I was going through my own worries at the moment because I was arrested for an alleged crime and all my computer equipment was taken. So I couldn't do anything about it.
See, I've always said, realistically, the money side is not really that important. The actual plan of getting the veterans to storm Parliament based off a case that wasn't a case and wasn't admitted into court and wasn't court sealed and approved and all that.
Remember, you got to
No,
understand.
you think, Matt, if they would have done that, what would be the consequences realistically?
Listen, if anyone was saying they were going to storm or words to that effect, it was Justin Bean. Justin Bean was threatening to bring London to a standstill. Remember, we were in the climate of that particular time of that we all thought we wanted something new. You know, the veterans were being shafted by the Queen and Parliament. The veterans wanted something drastic to change. The whole country wanted something drastic to change. It was
Yeah.
at the start of the internet. We were all coming out with all this crazy stuff about these secrets of what the elite get up to. So it wasn't John Winoa who was saying, let's storm Parliament. It was everyone was saying, let's storm Parliament. It was like a country, a nationwide, you know, feeling, a nationwide emphasis on changing the system.
Right. I don't know what you know or what you think about me or whatever, but a lot of people would get behind that if it was genuine, wouldn't they, Matt?
I was behind John Winoa because I felt if it was genuine.
Yeah, that's
I thought
kind of the problem.
from New Zealand coming over, wanting
That's
to
kind
sack
of the problem,
the
though,
Queen
Matt.
as a trustee. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was
Right.
something that
Let's
would
just
answer all our
imagine that
prayers.
we had. Let's just imagine that it had accumulated 10,000 people in the All-Star Parliament.
No. Let's
Then
not
what?
imagine that, because it didn't happen, and that wasn't what John was after. John
Well,
was after 25
Andy
million
Devine
pounds.
was.
That was what John was after. John was
Andy
after
Devine was.
25 million pounds to put his tidal turbines in the sea and start earning money.
Yeah.
And that is everyone is allowed to do that. That is a legit business proposition. And if you can start a company up, it's not illegal to sell shares to raise that money for that purpose. Would you agree?
No, it was a scam
You
from the
live in
outset.
a capitalist world, and you're saying no, you don't agree.
It was a scam from the offset, Matt, honestly.
No, it wasn't, because I was involved with John Winoa, and I know for a fact it wasn't a scam. And I take offence.
But you're not even aware of the evidence.
Calling it a scam.
Matt, you can't be that close to him, whatever. If you're not aware of the evidence, which I'm saying, considering they was attacking the evidence, I lost nearly 100 channels along that period of time and whatever for displaying the evidence. You know, you must be aware of that. You can't really not be.
Listen, you come out with a lot of stuff then, and you may think it's of evidential value, but when what you think is evidence is put to the test, you may find it's nowhere near it. So until you are willing to kind of put this so-called evidence in front of people, so other people can have a determination of whether it's evidential value or not. At the moment, it's just you talking.
It's literally like you're the only person on the internet that doesn't know it's a scam. Everyone
I'm
else
the only
knows.
person who was involved with John Winoa implicitly, and I know it wasn't a scam. So I'm the one. That's why
just
I'm
being
asking you to do
groomed,
this.
Matt.
So
I
the
honestly
audience
think you
can hear
just got
both
groomed.
sides of it.
I honestly think you got groomed into believing that. I genuinely think you do believe that. That's why I'm chatting to you now. But
and so now you're kind of like you're depriving me of my intelligence as a grown man.
no, anyone can get duped.
By saying I got groomed.
Anyone can get duped. How many people have bought timeshares and all this shit, all kinds of shit, which has just ended up. It's very easy to believe what you want to believe, and when you've got people around it,
what to believe, because I would have rathered you come out and say, listen, it sounds like a load of bollocks. Don't waste your money. Don't put your money in it. It sounds like bollocks. John Winoa is a fantasist and ain't going to go nowhere. That was what I would prefer you to have done. Instead, you played it differently. You were saying, no, it's definitely a scam. Winoa is a scammer. So is Devine. So is Matt. Don't touch the barge pole.
Have you watched the live that I had with Andy?
I may well have done in the past, yes.
The one where
will keep going on about was the court number, which I think is a red herring.
Well, why is it?
That's beside the point.
Do you not think that was a fair point, Matt? Really?
No, not really. No, because I think you were going on about a red herring.
No,
you've just admitted that the money is by the by. You've just
the money to me is just oil for the wheels.
Was because you implied that John Winoa was trying to get the veterans to storm Parliament.
Yeah,
which is a new thing. That's something new you put onto the table. When I know for a fact again that wasn't what John Winoa was doing.
But I've got
I
the
went
evidence of that, Matt.
I went up to the veterans and I said, listen, we don't want anything from you, but we just want you to stop believing the bullshit coming from Kirkton, Clark, and you.
Yeah.
And you know, there was nothing else involved. We weren't saying we don't want anything from you, but we just want you to believe us when we say this is a legit business, this is a legit project, and one
But
of
it
it
wasn't,
certainly
Matt.
isn't a scammer.
But it wasn't. And you seem to be really low on the information at hand at the time, which was around one of the front runners, I would say. One
Well,
of the biggest
considering
supporters of.
I was arrested around that time and all my computer equipment was taken, I didn't have access to the internet, and so
Right.
I missed a lot of stuff.
All right.
I
If
just
that's
literally wasn't
genuine and you're genuinely not
privy to
seeing it, if you're genuinely not seeing it, then I'll find what's relevant and I'll tag you on it and whatever.
So,
Examine
would
it
you
for.
agree you're willing to enter into an agreement in which you put forward all your evidence of
I
what
will
you
do.
believe
I will
makes?
do.
Yeah, cool. I'm willing to.
Yeah.
You know, I'm looking forward to what you can produce.
This is it. So once you've seen it for yourself, your opinion may change, and you might actually realise that I weren't being a dickhead. It was just stopping people getting used.
Well, everyone gets used. John Manoa wanted to use people to buy shares into his project, and so yeah, I mean, yeah, I need people to being used. I think is irrelevant. Everyone is allowed to be used, you know, and if they are willing to be used, allow them to be used.
Do you think Kaylee's quite sensible, quite smart?
I think she is, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've walked her through all the facts and the evidence, and over the period of 3 weeks of seeing all the evidence and whatever, she decided herself, okay, yeah, I thought it was something that it's not, blah, 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 and then she walked away from that group. So,
Well, I think there were other motivations for Kaylee to appease you because she wanted to get in with the crowd. She wanted to do anything to stop her being trolled and abused. So I think that's
I
why
don't think
she
that
went
was
along
the case.
with what you said. That's my
I don't,
personal opinion
I,
anyway.
I honestly don't think that's the case, Matt.
Oh,
I
come on.
mean,
It is the case because at that time,
mhm.
Jones was banging her. So, and I'm, you know, metaphorically speaking, AJ
It's-
was. All you blokes were like
it's-
attacking her.
them lot are still doing it now, Matt.
Well, yeah, at that time you were as well. And so I think that was her motivation.
No,
In
no,
fact,
no.
I remember her saying, come on, guys, I've turned my back on the so-called scam. Aren't you lot gonna like, you know, she thought she was gonna deserve a medal from you lot, but the abuse continued.
Not from me, it didn't.
Maybe
Not
not
from
from
me.
you, but from the other blokes they did.
Not from
But
CMW.
eventually you turned on her as well, didn't you? You abandoned her.
No, we fell out over a
Okay.
period of
Fell out,
time or
abandoned,
whatever.
that's fine. That's your business anyway.
Yeah. We're civil. We're still civil now to this day. So that should tell you something.
What should that tell me?
Well,
That you're a great bloke? Is that what you're
no,
getting
I
at?
didn't. No, I'm not saying that. I've literally shown Kayla what it
Well, no,
was,
but that's the whole
and she
point
made
of
up
you
her own
coming up and
mind.
saying, look, I'm a great bloke because
I
I
didn't say
identified
that,
as
Matt.
scam.
You're putting words into my
I know
mouth.
I am, but that's the kind of impression you want to give people, isn't it? Look,
No, no,
everyone. No,
no,
it is. I'm a
no.
great bloke because I've identified a scam and I'm putting myself out there. I've lost 100 channels because of it
Yeah.
to stop you lot being
That's
scammed.
that's just the facts, Matt.
Yeah.
That's just the
Well, no,
facts.
it's facts. It took me to define what a fact is. That's your opinion.
That's the
Opinions
conclusion that
aren't
you've drawn
admissible in
there
court.
or whatever. I didn't draw that. I didn't
What you
draw that.
think is
You
fact,
drawn it.
other people may just think, look, that's just an opinion, mate. So
No, we've just agreed that if there is a share certificate, even one, then it was a scam. We've just agreed that if he went into court and came out and said it was authenticated when it wasn't, that would be a lie. You put these things together, Matt. You put all the other bits together. It tells you
you've got
all you need to
two
know.
incidents. You've got two incidents that you are using as the foundation that John Monroe is a scammer.
All right, we'll ask the million. We'll ask the $1 million
You need to have
question.
victims of the scam. You
We'll
need
ask
to
the
have
$1 million
evidence
question
of
then,
the
Matt.
scam.
well, ask the $1 million question then, Matt, which Andy couldn't answer and got all triggered and whatever.
Oh, what is the number? Is it the court number?
Yeah.
Well, that's a red herring. That's by. It's bullshit. It's irrelevant.
Elaborate on that. I don't know what you're saying.
Your court number means nothing,
It
because John
means
Manoa,
nothing.
in his head, was coming over from New Zealand as a representative, as a royal, essentially, wasn't he? He was coming over as a royal, saying, I want to depose Queen Elizabeth as the trustee of the Queen Victoria Trust Fund. So he was doing it in legalese, in the lawful setting. I want to depose the Queen as the trustee of the Queen Victoria Trust Fund. So the paperwork, here's the paperwork that warrants it. Here's my statement of truth.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm giving it to you for you to be aware of. This paperwork is my paperwork, and I'm superseding your court systems because I've sacked your Queen. That's how I see it.
When you watch the video back, Matt, you'll see what I'm saying. They was literally laughed at, and he gave him a compliment slip just
That's
to get
fine,
him
yeah.
away.
Laugh at them. I'd rather you have laughed at him and said, yeah, right, okay,
No,
mate,
I'm
all
on
the
about.
best in the world, but that
Yeah,
ain't going to get you nowhere.
He just looked really confused and gave him a compliment slip to just sort of get him to leave.
Yeah. So, but that doesn't take anything away from John Manoa.
Of course it does.
No, it doesn't.
So, right, I've got the speech where John is stood with Tracer. Tracy's recording it, put it out on which was in all the Patriot groups and whatever at the time, veterans, whatever. And John Manoa is saying it was all accepted in court. It's all been court sealed, approved. Blah blah blah. It hadn't been that. Just answer that. Why would he tell that lie? Why would he
Because
need to tell that
he
lie?
interpreted what happened as what he said. I don't think he was lying at all.
So you think he was that mad that he thought a compliment slip with a date stamp on it?
Maybe not mad.
Something.
Not mad at all. But
Well, you explain the mind of John's way of thinking if he thought that was somehow
hey, listen,
accepted.
John Manoa.
Wouldn't that be the first call sign, Matt, that they didn't take the paperwork?
Thinks he's been talking to Elon Musk, for goodness sake.
Matt, would that not be the first red flag that the court didn't actually take the paperwork? They flip through it and give it him back and just give him a compliment slip.
Well, I don't know for a fact that that's what you're saying happened.
It's all on video, Matt. I will send you all the evidence.
He may have left a copy with them. I don't know, but I don't see that being in any way evidential in that calling it a scam.
I don't think you could watch the evidence and have another conversation with me and then say them words that it isn't a scam.
He went into a court to give his paperwork over, and they smiled and flogged him off and said, "Keep your paperwork, and here's a slip." That's all that is. It's irrelevant.
Yeah,
exactly. It doesn't go any way towards.
Now factor in why, right? And now factor in why Lee Camp was saying, "Oh, we can just glue it on and it'll look right," and all this kind of stuff. It's all on the video, Matt.
Well, making the most of a bad situation. That obviously sounds
to come out and lie to all your followers.
I don't think he's come out.
That's what happened, Matt.
Events. You calling it a lie,
Matt? That's what happened.
That's a lie. I don't
that's
think
what the evidence which right. Just listen, so you know what I'm saying. That is what happened. That evidence I will send you. That's what you will see when you watch it. So off the back of that, hypothetically, now, what would you? If what I'm saying is correct,
I can't see how that's in any way evidential value to imply it's a scam.
That's mad. That's mad. I actually thought you'd be more reasonably minded than that, Matt. Yeah.
For something to be a scam, there has to be complaints. Someone has to have lost money, and there'd be a paper trail. You'd have to have someone ring up the police and say, or the serious fraud squad, and say, "Listen, I'm being scammed out of my money out of this fraudulent sales share." And as far as I know, there is no complainant. No one has put their hand up and said, "Excuse me, I've been scammed by John Manoa." And so that in that very fact That's a fact. I
To
don't think
start
there is any
to
complainants. So
uncover a scam, Matt.
because there's a
To, un-
lack of
mm,
complainants, there is no scam.
to uncover a scam, you have to go to the very beginning of where it started, don't you?
Yeah, and I
Now,
was there.
if that first part of time is going to court, telling people when you come out the court that it was a case when it wasn't, and it's not been approved and whatever, from everything on that you build on top of that, you could have a million good things built on top of it, but because your first brick is fraud and bullshit, everything else is not really worth anything from that point on. Nothing's genuine from there on, is it?
Well, but it still doesn't ring true because that's your interpretation of
No,
what happened.
well,
It was your
there's no point
interpretation of
having
what
a back and forth, back and forth. I'll find the evidence. I'll send you the evidence. I'll tag you to it or whatever.
But
And
that's still by the by. That
it's not, Matt.
there's still
It's
been no
not. It's
complainants.
not.
There's still
It's not.
he had every right to
Explain why
raise
John
money through
Manoa would
sell
come out and lie to Tracy Blackwell. Explain that, please, Matt.
shares. You're asking me to explain a situation which I haven't no knowledge on or haven't seen, you know.
Hypothetical.
But no hypothetical. Let me give you some hypothetical.
Right, put your head in the headspace of John Manoa. You've gone to court. You've made a big thing of it. We're going to do this thing. We're going to court. We're going to hand the case in. You've gone to court. You tried handing the case in. They've told you it's nothing but history.
But
We
with the
can't take it.
hand in the case in that
We
hand in the
can't
case in,
take
no,
it. We
he
can't
wanted to hand
accept
his
it.
affidavit in.
And then they've said, "Oh well, can you
He
just
wanted to
stamp?
hand his
Can you just
statement
stamp
of
it to
truth
say
in.
that we've been here?" And
That's
they've
what he
said,
wanted, and that's running parallel to the. I think that's something personal to John. I don't think that's got any bearing on the sale shares or the fact that you're calling the King's Flag a scam. I honestly don't see how that's got any bearings on it, on anything.
"I think all I can do is get you the evidence, tag you to it, let you
Yeah,
watch it, and
that's
then
the
if you
problem. You
decide we
calling
need
it
another
evidence.
chat, we can do
You are
that."
calling it evidence where I would argue that's your interpretation of an event.
Right. So if I show you the evidence of him saying, of going to court, trying to give it in, being told no, coming out and saying it has, selling a certificate of a share and giving somebody the certificate of the share. The fact
Show
that
me
he's
the
got
certificate of the share.
the
But
fact that
that first thing about the court, I think, is irrelevant. So I'm not even going to. That's by the by. Show me the certificate of a share. Then I'll be interested in that.
I will find it. I'll dig it out for you. I'll dig it out
Because
for you.
I imagine what it would be. Because I tried to buy a share. I was like, here's 25 quid for a share. He goes and he sent it back to me. He said, listen, the shares aren't being issued yet. So fucking here's your money back.
So how long was you around it from the very beginning?
I've been John Manoa in 2013. All of a sudden, I had someone send me an email saying, Matt, check out YouTube. There's someone from New Zealand mentioning you. So I thought, what? What's that? And so that was when I first heard of
Do you
John
know?
Manoa because he
Do
was
you know?
doing videos. And it
Do you
was
know he did the same?
because I'd done an article that I
Mm.
wanted to go and arrest the Queen.
Here's one for you, Matt. Do you know he did the same what you've just said there, but with Gordon Bowden 4 years before
Yeah, good
they
well done.
actually started
Yeah.
anything? You're
Because
aware of that?
Gordon Bowden was, he had a big reputation as someone who was
Yeah,
exposing the Finchley.
yeah.
But then again, I think all that turned out to be a load of hoodwink, didn't it?
No. I've been and looked at the evidence, Matt.
You looked at the evidence, but what's your experience looking at the evidence? And what's
He's
actually happened
100%
about
ganger.
that? Have you achieved anything with the Finchley Road? Have you achieved anything? If you think it's a scam, what have you exposed? What have you achieved? Have you put anyone in prison because of it?
Finchley Road, I believe all the evidence there speaks for itself, to be honest.
Well, no one seems to give a flying fuck about it, do they?
Nope.
No,
I don't know
there you
why.
go. No
I
one
don't
gives
know
a
why.
flying fuck. So
Yeah, but that's two separate
other people would
entities
say
altogether.
exactly
Andy
what
Devine was
you're
trying to
saying
pool them
about John
together.
Manoa, about your Finchley Road bullshit.
Do you think, just logically or whatever, Matt, if you was trying to scam people and you're mentioning people, you know, years in advance and whatever, like you've had some sort of agreement and this, that, and the other, and that person's never spoke to him, and then 4 years down the line they're trying to buy the way into leaning on Finchley Road, and yeah, we'll push this Finchley Road for you, blah blah blah. But while we're doing it, we're slipping this in the back door.
Hey, listen,
Can you
Finchley
not see the
Road.
problem with that, Matt?
At that
Really?
time, Finchley Road was a subject of national importance because the whole
Yeah.
country were being.
Well, it
So,
still
yeah,
is,
everyone
in my
had,
opinion.
you know.
It still is.
Remember, Andy Devine was so concerned about what Gordon Bowden was saying. He gave him invested £20,000 in it.
And you don't think that's dodgy?
Well, I think it's dodgy that no documentary was ever made.
Well, it
And you know
all
what
fell
I find
apart
also
before that
dodgy?
happened, didn't it?
You know what I
It
find
all-
also dodgy then, right?
Go on.
I asked, because he died in February. I'm talking about Gordon Bowden died in about February 2022, did he, or was it? Or
Yeah, I think so.
so I asked Sussex Police in June 2022. I said, what cases are active against me? And they said the harassment by Gordon Bowden. And I thought, hang on, how can that still be active against me in June 2022 when Gordon was meant to have died in February 2022?
Unless it's been cancelled, it would still be active, wouldn't it?
But how when the complainant is dead?
I know that he had reported you.
Yeah, and
I'm
I lost all
aware of
respect for
that.
him then.
I think
I
he
lost all
reported
respect.
yourself, Andy Devine, John Manoa.
So for me, Gordon Bowden was discredited then.
No.
No, for me, I'm just saying for me. There's no you saying no. For me, Gordon Bowden was discredited because he ran Sussex Police and called me a harasser. Only because you started calling me a paedophile and then he copied what
No,
you
I called
said.
you a pedo protector, Matt. I didn't
No,
call you
you
a
called me a
paedophile.
pedo. You said
I definitely didn't.
you are a pedo. It's a fact. And
No, I
if you don't
didn't.
like it, you
No,
can
I
sue me.
didn't. I
Yes, you
didn't
did.
say that, Matt. I didn't.
I've written it down.
You've written it down. Can we see it? Can we see me saying it rather than what you've wrote
Well, no,
down?
I haven't got the recording of it,
Mm.
but I did have. You know,
If it was the other way around, I would have had it. That's all I can say on the matter. I wouldn't have it just brought down. That's mad.
hey, listen. At the time, I made a big song and dance about it. Okay.
Yeah.
So you know, I know exactly what you said. You
Yeah,
said
but
words to the effect, Matt,
yeah,
you're a paedophile. It's a fact. If you don't like it, sue me.
yeah,
Or
but
words to that effect.
did they not like pull Danny Jones on the reasoning behind it and all that? Because he was making out that court order
You
that he
actually
brought
said, I'm
forward.
looking at it now. You said you are a convicted paedophile. Fact.
No, I didn't.
You did say that.
I
You did
didn't, Matt.
say
I
that. You
didn't.
did say it.
I
You did.
didn't.
So now I'm going to call you a liar because I know for a fact you said, Matt,
To do
is a
that, Matt, you
convicted
have to
paedophile.
produce.
Fact. Sue me if it isn't true.
To
Those were
do
your exact words.
that, you would have to show me
Well, all I've
a
got is a
comment or a
cartoon
video
of the
or
words
something
because I
like that.
remember very, very well. That's exactly what you said to me,
I probably said
and I threw
pedo
it right back
protector.
at you.
I probably said pedo protector.
No,
That's what I
you
call
said you're
most
a
of them.
convicted paedophile. Fact. If you don't like it, sue me.
No, I don't.
That was you said I'm a convicted paedophile. Fact. If you don't
No,
like it, sue me.
I
And
don't.
those were the exact words I threw back at you. And then of
I
course
think
since then I've been the bad guy
no.
accused of calling you a pedo.
I think I would have said something like that, but I would have said pedo protector. I wouldn't have said
Fuck's sake,
convicted
Dan!
paedophile.
You said a convicted paedophile. Fact. Okay, now
I
you're denying
don't
me
think.
my truth. I've written it down. I wrote
I
it
know,
down
but
at the time.
I know, but that's just words that you've wrote down, isn't it?
Well, okay, straight back at you. Well, so whatever you say,
I've still got
it's
the
just words.
video.
It's just your
I've
words.
still got the video of you doing a video saying Den Tarragon is a convicted paedophile.
Well, that's why I done it because I was mirroring back
But
what
I
you
didn't
exactly
say
said
that.
to me.
I would have 100% said pedo protector.
Well, you didn't. You said a convicted paedophile. Fact.
Do you not think it was somebody else like
No,
AJ or Danny Jones or whatever?
no.
Considering they put the video out of you saying that some sort of CP had been found on your device. It was a very short video. You could tell it had been edited and messed with and all that, don't get me wrong. And it had been found on your devices or something, and you had no idea how it got there, I think you said. Do you remember them
Yes, I
putting
remember
that
that.
video on?
Yeah.
So they're the only people
On
that have
that
made out
basis,
that that's
you
the
you
case.
said I was a convicted paedophile. Fact. It's your business. You said it. I just mirrored back
Right,
what you said
Matt,
back to me.
are you
For
aware
the
that
very fact you've got a video of me saying, "Den, you're a convicted paedophile." Fact. If you don't like it, sue me. Is proof that you said that to me.
if you remember, Matt,
Just
the
mirrored it back
moment
to
you put that video up, I copied it and I put it on mine. You took yours down 20 minutes later, and I left mine on there for 3 months till I lost the channel.
Well, listen, I know
That's
for a
how
fact
bothered I was.
because I've got the evidence. You know, I wrote down at that time.
Oh, I could write something down now, Matt,
I
and
wrote
say,
it down
"Oh,
at
you said
that time,
this
and
7 years
it
ago."
proves it because you've got a video of me saying you are a
Yeah,
convicted paedophile. Then, if you don't
yeah.
like it, sue me. You've got a
Right.
video of that, haven't you?
Well, let's
And so
discuss.
that proves that's what you said to me because I'm telling you now.
But
I
I
just
didn't
mirrored
make
back
that
the
video. I
exact
didn't
words
make
you
that
said to
video.
me.
Did I ever produce that video and put it on my channel, and that's where you're running with it from or something? I don't know.
I remember at the time because
Because I
as
know I've
soon as
not
you
said it
said
with
it,
my
as soon
mouth.
as you said it, Gordon Bowden said it. And I had Gordon Bowden's number. And so I rang him up. I said, "Excuse me, what the fuck are you saying about me?" "Oh, whoa, 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 whoa." And he put the phone down. So I rang him up
Right,
again. I said, "Excuse
right,
me, what are you doing? What are you doing?" And he go, "Oh, fuck off, just go away. Fuck off." He put the
right.
phone down on
The
me.
video that they used, that was Dana and that was AJ, and I think Eric as well, or whatever. The video they used of you, if you show that to someone, you could draw your own conclusions and assume, well, he's just,
Hey,
based
listen,
off what he's just
that's
said.
fine. You know, that was
Yeah,
a very dark period back in my life when I was being set up. Okay. It was the
yeah,
night
but
before I was going to court. And
yeah,
for
but how
3
many
years,
people say they've been set up, Matt? Realistically,
well, yeah, okay. I
you
didn't,
also
you
had
know,
Eddie saying something about stuff on his computer, and apparently FBI or CIA or some shit broke into his house and
well, that's
stole his
Eddie. That's
laptops.
Eddie for you, isn't it?
Hmm. This is what I'm saying, though, Matt.
Nothing to do with me. I know my truth. I know I'm not a paedophile. I know nothing was found on my computer. It was alleged to have found in a disc. When push come to a shove, nothing was presented in court. So I
But
personally think, but
was that
anyway,
your
we're going off the
personal
subject. I
property, though?
personally think they were trying to pull a fast one
Was
and to
that your
see how weak
personal
I was
property,
to go
though,
along
Matt?
with it.
Was that your personal property, though, that they found it on?
No, I don't know anything about it. I've never been shown the device or the disc in which it was alleged to have been on.
I think you said it was was it a Class B image
I
or
said it
something
was
like
Class
that?
B, but that's actually factually wrong. It was a Class C and a cartoon allegedly. So of course, yeah, all
Cartoon.
paedophiles they have you know someone's a paedophile when they allegedly have a category C and a cartoon. I don't know. I mean,
I don't.
when I got charged
I'm
with
just
that, I
going off
couldn't
what
believe it.
people
I
have
thought,
said
what on earth
based off
are
the
you doing?
video.
What?
I'm just going off what people have said based around that
Yeah.
video. I mean,
Listen,
that
at
was a
that time,
video of you
everyone
saying
was
it.
calling me a pedo then.
No,
Everyone.
but you think if you watched that video and it was me saying the words you said, wouldn't you draw them conclusions, Matt? Be honest.
No, not really. I would have asked a bigger
Come
picture.
on,
And you've got to
come on.
understand, right? That video was posted about 1:30 because I couldn't get to sleep. I was in court the next day. So I
Uh,
posted it about 1:30, 1:00. I thought better of it. After 5 minutes, I deleted it. But of course, Danny Jones was there. He nicked that straight away. Bang.
yeah,
So that's
well,
the only reason it's out there. Because I was under a
yeah.
lot of pressure. I was, you know, I'm really in a dark place. I was trying to make sense of what's happening to me.
So
I
you
put out
regret
a
putting it
15-minute
up there?
dialogue. I took it back after 5 minutes, but of course, within that 5 minutes,
Yeah.
Danny Jones had downloaded it. And the only thing you lot get to hear is 30 seconds of it.
So if you regret putting it up, you realise there was something that you shouldn't have put out there, don't you?
Well, absolutely, yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
you can't blame people for drawing conclusions like they have, surely.
Am I blaming anyone?
Well, you've
Am I
yeah.
blaming anyone?
Well, Gordon
Ultimately,
Bowden's obviously
I'm not convicted of any
Gordon
sexual crime.
Bowden's obviously watched that video and then he's drawn them conclusions, and
Crack
you've
on.
had
You
a
draw what
reaction
you
to
want.
that.
It don't bother me. Draw what you want. But the fact that you said, "Oh, I'm a convicted paedophile," that's actually technically wrong.
Unless you can show me evidence, I don't think that happened. I think
No, it did happen
I
because
think maybe
I wrote it
I
down
might
at
have
the
put that
time.
video. I might have put that video, either played it on a live or something like that, or whatever.
I'm willing to
And
go
you,
to court and say that's what you said because I wrote it down at the time.
it won't work in court. That's kind of the way you've got to do these things, Matt. You would need to provide me saying it either by message, by email, by comment, by mouth, something. You can't just write down something and say, he said that, I'm saying he did, so that's the case. That's kind of the whole problem with the King's flag stuff. I can accuse you of nicking Jenny's fucking eggs or whatever, and until you can prove you didn't nick Jenny's eggs, then, that's it. You did it. That's the problem with the King's bench, John, Matt.
To be fair, I don't remember what medium you said it, whether you wrote it or you verbally said it. But either way, you expressed it, and I wrote it down word for word, and I just mirrored it right back at you.
Well, let's just say that.
So you got a recording of me saying you're a convicted paedophile. Then, if you don't like it, sue me. Is evidence enough that that's exactly what you said to me? Because all I did was mirror what you said to me back at you.
Right. Well, let's just assume that I did then. Okay. Just to whatever. I don't think I did. You think I did? But let's just say I did. What would have drawn me to that conclusion? It would have only been that video. You know what I mean?
Hey mate, I don't give a flying fuck.
But off the back of that, once I realised that Danny Jones had told certain lies around that case about not being in contact with, look at that.
No, it does. I'm sorry.
That could be anything.
Well, no, it isn't, because you got the likes of Plisco, you got James Hind, you got everyone who'll be ringing up Sussex Police tomorrow saying it's been referred to. So well done. That's why I wanted to have a little conversation with you beforehand, but you couldn't want that. So, but anyway, we'll carry on. This will go on private. This can't go public now because you said that. I know, it's funny, isn't it? Because I've been arrested before for initials being used. Andy Devine was in conversation with me.
Yeah, but you've not said anything, though, Matt. I've not got anything around me where they can tell me what to say. I can say whatever I want. You can't control what I'm saying.
On my platform, you can't. Well, I can't allow you to say things on my platform. That's exactly the reason why I asked to have a little private conversation with you. But that's fine.
Well, it's just abbreviated word for road, isn't it?
Oh no, like I just said, I've been arrested before because abbreviations of the initials were mentioned. So, but
right. Well, either way, off the back of that, once we realised Danny Jones had told certain lies about a certain person or whatever, then I questioned all of it. And one of the things that come up was that video or whatever. I said, since or whatever, we've realised that you are doing cut and shut videos with a narrative and whatever. At one point in time, you said Matt was a convicted paedophile. Can I have the evidence? And as soon as I asked for the evidence, Danny Jones said, "Oh, he's actually not. He just lied or whatever." And I thought, well, why have you run with it for so long? And how would you know? How would you know whether it is or isn't unless you're connected into the into the police or whatever? How would you know that? It wouldn't make sense, would it?
Look, then, in all sincerity, I'd like to thank you for your stance on that, because that's the only thing in which, no, it's not the only thing, but it's a big reason why there's a part of me that respects you. And I'd like to thank you for that, because you're the only one who done that. And fair dues to you. Credit to you. So thank you.
All I'm interested in is the truth. If it doesn't
and that's why I wanted to just talk to you about the Winoa, because the truth matters to me. We're all in
That's
this
what I mean. I'm
together, aren't
perfectly happy to find you all the evidence and send it you all and
we?
whatever, and just let you
But as
make
long
your
as
own
you
mind up.
appreciate, I was in the middle of this, and
Mm.
for myself, there was no scam. So as long as you appreciate, that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah, if you've not been on the internet for a few weeks and months, how fast that was moving daily, and different elements to it and around it and whatever. They was all doing
Exactly,
bits, and it
different
was
elements around it. So if there's anything that went skew, it would have been because so many people started getting involved. That's where I think maybe issues arose. But
mm,
the core, Wanoa, Andy, and myself, we are not scammers. We never went into this Moai tidal energy.
well.
with
I'll find
scam
you the
anyone.
evidence. I'll find you the evidence which we've talked about tonight, where it's in
You'll
dispute or
find what you
whatever.
think is evidence. Okay.
No,
No,
anything
because
that's been
until a lawyer,
disputed tonight,
until a
I'll
qualified
find the
lawyer
evidence.
can look at the stuff, then they'll determine whether it's evidence. At the moment, it's just your hearsay.
Well, that's just your opinion because you're not
I,
seeing the
I
evidence. I get that,
personally,
but
I personally didn't think, in reality, Wanoa would be able to raise 25 million in sell shares. But I was fucking hoping I'd be proven wrong.
well, you think 4.3 million veterans, £25 a go? There's a
Yeah,
big whack
that's
straight away,
assuming
isn't it?
every fucking veteran would buy a share. And
A lot of them,
that's a bit of
was
a
getting
wide-eyed
involved.
that's a bit of a wide-eyed prediction to make, isn't it?
That was a long. That was like for the long
Yeah, you're
period of
making out
time. It
you're
was
making out
pulling more
every
veterans in.
4.3 million veterans are sheep, and they'll do what the next guy does. That's just ridiculous.
Generally, with the veterans, I've noticed you've got somebody that kind of is the leader, if you like, or whatever. Built itself a little community, and they will all get behind that, and they will all
I can
support that
tell
and
you for a
whatever.
fact, Simon Bean wasn't the leader. Simon Bean was the front. There were other people who were leading that movement.
And Dean Cumblepatch,
Well, poor guy nearly had a heart attack. Well, he did have a heart attack on that day, didn't he?
yeah, yeah.
And then wasn't there allegations of his stolen valor as well?
Don't know.
I think you do know there were allegations of stolen valor. I think it's still on the internet at the moment. But yeah, I mean, the reason I went down there because Dean Cumberbatch came out and he goes, "If anyone turns up with a King's flag, we're going to put you in some tyres and throw you in the Thames." I know. So, and then Wano was going to me, right, look, no one turn up with a flag. And I was like, John, I'll be turning up, thank you very much. and they did come and get me, actually. They came, 4 of them
Oh,
came
you
to
got
get me.
escorted out, didn't
Oh, no, that's another bit of misinformation. They came to get me,
yeah.
right? Because I was sleeping. Oh, yeah, so was it? I went to the pub. That was it. I went to the pub for the evening.
Yeah.
I came back, went to go, and they said, right, fuck off. We don't want you in our camp. So I thought, okay, then fuck you lot. So I went and just further up the park, found another tree, like 100 yards away from the camp. So
Yeah.
there was where I was sleeping. And then the next thing I knew, 4 of them were coming up for about 3 o'clock in the morning, walking up at me. I jumped up and I said, right, I'll take 2 of you. Yeah, I'll take 2 of you. I'll put 2 of you down before you get me. And they went, look, just leave it, Mert. And then that was when I got invited back. Don't sleep here. Come back. That's I was there, so I know exactly what happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I appreciate, and I do appreciate your stance on the convicted paedophile.
Yeah.
Because
No,
once
because
you
if
do,
it's not right, it's not right. Do you
yeah.
know what I mean? It's the worst. It's the worst thing that you can say about a man or whatever. So,
And I'm not bashing you for saying what you said at that point, because maybe on the information you thought was true, you said what you thought was true. So I'm not bashing you for saying it, but I'm going to stick to my grounds and say, look, that's what you said. It's fine by me.
I don't remember
Years ago.
saying it, but if you're adamant that I have, maybe
But the very fact that you've got a recording of me saying it to you is proof that you said it to me, because I just mirrored the exactly same words back, and I thought I was being very clever. I was like, well, look at this.
I just
I'll just
laughed
say the
when you
same
did it.
words
I
back to
thought,
him.
well, I'll just put it on my channel then, or whatever, and people can make their own minds up. It is what it is.
And that's, I think, is important, because there's a wider audience who aren't really, well, absolutely not clued up about this King's flag. I mean, only a few people really know what went on, and I find it bad for the audience that you're claiming it's a scam when there's no evidence. Well, maybe evidence that you think is it, but there's no conviction, there's been no complainant, there's no paper trail. That's all I want to say to the audience.
But when I show you the evidence, maybe we
What
can
you
have
think is
another
evidence.
chat or whatever.
Yeah, when you show
Well,
what you think is evidence.
well, what I've just said or whatever, if they've gone to court
Yeah, but
to
listen, I've
put
got
to
a lot of
put the case in,
experience reports. A lot of people think that they've got evidence.
do you know why
They'll give
Andy
it to a lawyer and
Devine?
they go, well, that's not, and that's inadmissible.
Do you know that Andy Devine said, well, they only went to court because it was cold and it was warm in court? Do you know that?
No, I didn't.
Right.
And that's by the by. I mean, that's you're discussing something. I wasn't there. I don't know what the relevance is. So I'm not going to comment on something that I'm not aware of. All I can tell you is what I do know,
Yeah.
and that whole thing was sabotaged before it could get off the ground. And
Do you know that John Manoa?
were wankers to him.
Do you know that John Manoa had done this previous in other countries, though, Matt?
Again, this I'm familiar with that. Yeah.
So
I'm not familiar with this. He's done this in other countries. What, tried to raise shares? You mean?
well, he even overtook a building or whatever. I don't know
Yeah, I
what
mean,
building it
yeah,
was.
because
Maybe
of
it was,
yeah, I know,
and
but
they
that
all
wasn't
ended up
a
getting
scam, is
arrested. And
it? He was claimed what was that? It was a street in New Zealand, wasn't it?
I don't.
Cook Street. Remember?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
it. Actually, yeah.
yeah, but I still think that isn't evidence of a scam. A lot of people go in and take repossession of property in the name of the king.
It was
At
pretty
the
much
time he was king.
identical to storming the Parliament plan, but they did something there. It was the same
Hey, listen,
situation.
everyone was
Everyone's got to
moving
get
forward to
behind
storming
this.
the
Everyone's
Parliament.
got to support it. Donations, shares, blah blah
The
blah.
veterans were threatening to bring London to a standstill.
Yeah, yeah.
And there was talk of storming Parliament, but it was nothing to do with John Manoa. I think
Well,
at
I'd say it was
the time the whole country wanted to storm it.
I'd say it was more Andy Devine than John, but John was
That's fine,
definitely.
and
Yeah,
I'd rather that as well. Put it in that context. Andy Devine
yeah,
was saying stuff,
yeah.
but as far as I'm concerned, there was no scam. It was an honest project that got sabotaged before it could get off the ground. And then lo and behold, I think I get the impression John Manoa is still hell bent on like bringing this up again, because this is his life stream. And that's what I found so disappointing in it. This was somebody who's dreamt of this all his life. He finally comes to England. He gets fucked off by a bunch of internet sleuths who really didn't understand what he was trying to achieve.
Do you not think if it was genuine, they would have kept the two things separate? So the tidal energy thing, if you want to get into that, that's fine, go and do that. But this court case thing, which is important to everyone in the country and whatever, wouldn't you have just kept them two things separate so people couldn't
As
say,
far
oh,
as
it's a
I know,
scam?
as far as I see that, it is separate. I see it
No,
as
no,
separate
no,
anyway.
no.
I see
They
it as separate. It's
pushed
just
it
that you
together.
don't see it as separate. But and for someone to determine whether what I'm saying is right is what you're saying is right, we need to have more people to appraise the evidence that we both put forward. And remember, there's a lot of stuff that we think is evidence, which is actually hearsay and can't be used in a court of law.
Yeah, but hypothetically, if the stuff I'm saying is correct, then you probably come up
you're
with
fine. You're fine.
Yeah.
But I think about this court thing, I think that's irrelevant. So even if you're right on that, that's by the by. But if you're right in like certificates of a share have been sent out,
Yeah.
then that's a good indication. Yeah, you'd be scammed then.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'd have to see that paperwork because it could be a placeholder. It could be say, thank you for your money. Yeah, this is like a reserve of a share. Once you're in a position to legitimately raise shares, then you'll get your legitimate share.
If you remember, Andy Devine was going mad at Jason Moore for showing us because he knew it kind of exposed it before it got off the ground.
Well, again, I'd like to see who issued this, because who would have had the authority to issue a share on behalf of the Moai Tidal Energy Company?
I think it was Andy, if I remember rightly.
Be very, because I don't think Andy was a director, was he?
I don't know.
I don't think he was. So I know a lot of people were throwing money, myself included, were saying, "Yeah, I'll have a share." And then John Manoa, for me, he sent my money back, and he said, "Listen, we haven't fucking issued the shares yet, so stop sending me money for shares." And then
I'll make you right on that. I'll make you right on that. I'll make you right on that. I have actually heard John Manoa say that on a live, but at the same time, you've got Andy trying to push it and promote it and get everyone to buy shares. Andy only changed it from shares to donations after CMW and myself had been saying, look, you're selling shares, and we explain why you can't do that, like what we've just discussed and whatever. And then Andy changed it to donations. But in between that, Jason Moore was trying to prove to us all that it weren't a scam, this, that, and the other, and he's showing us the share certificate. Now, as soon as he's done that, he's opened a can of worms, which you can't put back in once you've done it.
Well, look, I'd like to see that to determine for myself.
Yeah, honestly, I'll find it you all, and you can, just make your own mind up. I'm not trying to convince you about it. I'll just show you the evidence.
No, but you are trying to convince the audience. My mind is made up.
To me, honestly, Matt, it's that long ago behind. It's no longer relevant in my mind.
In that case, stop calling it a scam then, if it's irrelevant.
No, I can't say it wasn't, because I'm 100% sure that it was.
Because you've invested so much.
No.
You've invested your credibility on it being a scam. You used it to gain credibility within the the community.
Right, Matt.
Look at me.
None of it was
calling out a scam.
None of it was right, Matt. None of it was my evidence. I've just literally gone over all the evidence, both sides, this, that, and the other.
So your evidence at the moment is a dodgy slip, right? Going into court, which is okay. I think it's by. And then Jason with his certificate, and you allege that John Manoa was trying to get the veterans to do something that was stupid. So on those 3 counts, you're calling it a scam.
No, on the lie as well. So they've been in court.
On the lie of the slip at the start.
Yeah.
So on three of those very, very tedious, or
no, that's as good as
I think that you're clutching at straws there, because for me, a scam is a complaint. You need a complainant, you need a police report, and you need a conviction or a judgment made by the FSA, or the Serious Fraud Squad. That's how I would define a scam.
So you could accept that all them things happened, and you still wouldn't think
that court thing, I think, is by the by. So that's nothing. This certificate, I need to see it, so that's nothing. And I know for a fact we weren't asking the veterans to storm Parliament. So I think you've got no case.
Yeah,
You've
but
got
that's just because you've not seen the
nothing
evidence,
you
Matt.
said will be admissible in a court of law.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's just because you've not seen the evidence, and that's fine. But other people have
I
seen
think
it.
I may have seen it at the time. I think I may have, watched this and I just dismissed it there and then. So I am familiar with you putting a lot of stuff out at that time, which I just thought, well, it's just rubbish.
Do you not think it's confirmation bias, though, Matt? Really?
No, not at all, because I've been a military policeman, so I know I've got some experience of the law.
Have you genuinely, or
Fucking hell.
no? I'm just. You can say whatever you want. I'm just asking you a question, innit? Genuine question.
Well, I put it out that I'm an ex-war military policeman. You know that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But I
so
mean,
okay, I'm just going to leave it at that. If it ain't my fault if you don't believe it, but I've got more experience than you.
yeah, but you've said some mad shit over the time, Matt. I can't
Yeah,
just
okay.
assume all of it's true, can I? If I assume it's all true, I won't be speaking now, would I, realistically?
Well, there you go. So
That's something more
I'm
rational. That's
more
why I'm
I'm
asking
more
you that question. I'm not asking you
I'm
about
more clued
other
up on
mad
the
things
law
you said.
than you are, because I'm an ex-war military policeman, so I've got experience of what is admissible in a court of law. I've got experience on collecting evidence, and then I'm very, very aware that a lot of stuff that what people think is evidence is actually opinion and hearsay, and that can't be used in a court of law. But to answer your question, yes, then it's true. I was a Royal Military Policeman,
Mm.
regardless of what the
Well,
likes of anyone else who calls that into question.
mm, it's just one of them. All I can do is send you the evidence and just let you make your own mind up if you think another chat would be beneficial to discuss the evidence or whatever. That's fine.
Please let's do, because I want to see what you've got, and then I want to show the audience as well.
Yeah,
This is what Den thinks is evidence, and on
yeah,
my experience of the law, this is why it isn't evidence. That's what, yeah. And so, yes, I'd definitely love to have another conversation if you don't
yeah,
mind.
that's fine. If
But you are
everyone makes
aware,
up their own opinion on things, I'm
but
happy
you
at
are
that,
aware
to be
this
honest.
this actually conversation has to go private.
You could maybe censor that bit out or something afterwards and then put it back up if you
Yeah,
want.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, maybe, yeah, yeah. No, and look, thank you, okay, because
That's
I think
fine.
it's important on both of us, you know, and you understand that. If I was saying something that you disagreed with or you thought was bullshit, you'd call me out.
Yeah,
Of course you
yeah,
would. And I'm
yeah,
only doing that because I think what I hear you saying, I think is bullshit and it's misinformation. And I feel obliged to call it out.
yeah, I get that. I
Yeah,
get
cool.
that.
Yeah. So no hard feelings.
Yeah, cool.
Nothing
Yeah.
personal.
No, no. I try not to take anything personal. Do you know what I mean? It's just one of them things, isn't it? When
Well,
people have only seen one side of a story or one side of whatever, and you've got another group of people that have only seen the other side, I've tried to put myself right in the middle so I can be civil to both parties and, sift
if I
through
just still
things
feel if you've
myself.
made
And
a decision on, and yeah, you have every right to make a decision. But on fair, who else is defending John Manoa out there? I don't think anyone is, are they? Are they? Except
no, just
myself,
you. Just you.
just me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Andy Devine doesn't waste his time with all this anymore.
Andy Devine threw John in the under the bus.
Well, Andy Devine thinks John Manoa threw him under the bus
I
because
don't know.
Plisco rang him
Mm.
up. I mean, there was a time where John Manoa was trying to garner donations so he could fix his wife's roof out
Yeah,
in
I
the
remember. Yeah.
and then Plisco rang John Manoa up. So yeah, I'll donate money to you. Answer a
Yeah,
few questions, answer
yeah,
a few leading questions.
yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, it's funny that you think Andy Devine threw John Manoa under the bus because Andy Devine thinks John Manoa threw him under the bus. But really, John Manoa was still on his meds, being like set up by Plisco
Yeah,
to say what Plisco wanted to hear.
yeah.
Oh, there's a
But
lot going on under the bridge, and I think
like I
for the
say,
sake of the audience, it'd be good to get to the bottom of this.
Danny Jones was watching from the outside. I'm gathering he'd had previous contacts with yourselves or
Not really.
some.
Danny Jones wasn't watching. He was integral in sabotaging John Manoa, and that's evident by yours and his conversation you
Yeah,
had when he admitted that he rung his mate up to
yeah,
deprive John entry into the UK.
yeah. But I'm gathering before I'd spoke to Danny Jones or knew of Danny Jones that you already did. Is that the case or is that not the case?
I can't particularly remember.
Because when he come to us to try and infiltrate our group, it was all,
And
oh,
when
I
you
can
say your
see.
group, what was your group at that time?
Well, I'm saying my group, but the group I was representing, CMW,
Right, okay. And
Pendragons as well.
what does CMW stand for? Common.
It was originally Pendragons, wasn't it? And then they had some internal fallouts because some people from that group had actually joined your group, and certain people weren't willing to call things out or whatever. So
Oh, right. So CMW was really Pendragon, and that was
yeah,
by
yeah,
Kirkton,
yeah,
and Clark. Is Gary Clark still alive?
yeah, yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so you're a part of that lot. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Oh, and so you reckon Danny Jones came to infiltrate the Pendragons?
yeah, 100%.
And what was he using as his get in? Was he saying, "Let me in because I need to tell you about the scam"?
It was a tickling your balls type thing. Oh, we all support what you do. Blah blah blah. Anything we can do to help. All this bullshit, and it was just pure bullshit. I was asked by CMW to check out who Danny Jones is. I did that. I said he's surrounded by nothing but lefties. They're going on about the Dragon dullards and this, that, and the other. But then, he'd come to CMW saying all this stuff or whatever about we all support you. So we knew he was lying from the offset. So myself, Danny, Gary, Nathan had a chat and said, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to see which way they want to try and take it? And sort of while he thinks he's infiltrating us, we'll infiltrate him and get evidence out of him and just, go through there or whatever. And that's what we did. We recorded everything from day one, from the first footstep into it, and we was around it for a year. Every single conversation or private hangouts, whatever, was all recorded, documented, and we exposed him. We exposed Danny Jones, we exposed AJ, we exposed Eric, who came later.
It's all very well saying you expose them, but those are the well. Actually, I'm going to contradict myself because those are the people who are pushing Manoa as a scammer. But then
Yeah.
again, my personal recollection was that you lot at the Pendragons started out saying he was the scammer.
I don't think it was. I think it was the
Because
other way
I
around.
just remember it was Gary Clark and Kirkton who was coming out, and they were getting their information from AJ and Jones.
Well, AJ told me that he'd been watching John Manoa for 10 years before I spoke to him. That's all I know. And they did come as a little group.
And I also, my recollection is if anyone was calling for the storming of Parliament, it was the Pendragons.
What?
Yeah, that's how my recollection. If anyone was calling for the storming of Parliament, it was the Pendragons.
No.
Well, they did. They stormed. Come on, they stormed the London Assembly, didn't they?
No, they
Trying to
bought tickets. They bought
arrest
tickets.
Khan.
They bought tickets. That's why they couldn't have come out.
Well, but they were thrown out.
No, there wasn't.
Well, they were. The evidence shows that they were.
I've got the video.
Yeah, I remember, and they were being manhandled out.
No. Nobody put a hand on anybody. That's untrue.
Okay, well, look, they weren't allowed to go ahead with their citizens' arrest. That was for sure.
Do you know that it only didn't happen because the CPS said that there weren't enough public interest?
Well, there you go. Yeah, I didn't know that. And
But
so,
that tells you that it was a thing, and it's
and I
something
imagine
that
Keir Starmer was the head of the CPS at that point,
yeah,
whatever.
exactly. So why did it dissolve and there weren't enough public interest? The answer's in the question there, isn't it?
I personally think there would have been a lot of interest behind
Yeah.
John Manoa if he was allowed to just fulfill his destiny. Just let him get on with it. I mean, yeah, call him out, say it's a shit idea, and if anyone had a half a brain, they wouldn't bother with him. That's fine. You know, everyone's entitled to their opinion.
No, but you think if he's been caught, told no, and then come out and told everyone, yeah, it's a yeah, you know, it's court sealed approved. That's the problem
I
there,
think
isn't it?
it's a red herring. That is it. That's an interpretation of
No.
I
I,
know as a part of science, two
mm,
people can witness one event and just have two different meanings to it.
no. If you
Oh
go to
no,
court,
it's not
if
so
you
much.
go
No,
to court,
that is factually true. We get taught that.
no, but I've
We
got
get
the
taught in
video
our
evidence
training.
of them in
Right, there's an
court.
event there. Everyone write down their witness statement on what you just saw, and then that witness statement could be totally different. Some people
No, but that's what I'm saying.
saw
They've
the offender
recorded.
with black hair. Another offender another witness saw the offender with brown hair. He was wearing different. It's human nature
No, but you
to
think
interpret events differently.
if they've told everyone in advance they're going to this court, they're going to put the case forward, blah blah blah, this that and the other, and then come out and tell people it's been court sealed approved and all this. At that point, is told a massive lie, and that carries massive implications to
Well,
anybody.
yeah, like I said, I dispute that because it may be in their interpretation that what they think happened.
Well, it was enough to make Kayla see sense. Do you know what
Well,
I mean?
but
And we've both
Kaylee was
agreed that she's
under a lot of pressure. She wanted to please you, Danny, AJ.
no, she
No,
didn't.
she
She
was.
didn't. She
Trust me,
didn't.
she was willing to do anything to
I've got lives
get
where
all you
myself
guys
and
off
Kay,
her back.
I've got lives with myself and Kayla where we're going at it quite a few times. She didn't just see sense straight away. It took a good few having a chat on a live and whatever, and me asking her certain questions, not to answer herself, just to go away, get the answers for yourself. And if you're not happy with the answers, because I knew she's not silly, she's quite smart. I thought,
Well,
well,
she
you,
is a
you
bit
go
silly
away and get
to try and win favour with you lot.
no.
Well, in my opinion, she was, and I thought
I'd go as
she was
far
under
as
a lot of
saying she
pressure
hated
to.
myself at one
She was
point
under
in
a lot
time.
of pressure to condemn the King's flag, because she was getting attacked so much by you.
I'd go as far as saying she hated me at one point in time. But when
Oh,
she
well, we all
realised
at
what
some
we were
point.
saying was the truth, there's no point. There's no point carrying on down that line if you realise, it isn't what I thought it was. It's being misrepresented as a court case when it's not. That's why I kept saying to Andy, just for all your supporters, forget me, forget CMW, for all your supporters, just prove it by putting the court number out, the court case number, and then people can ring up Monday morning and then they can find out, oh yeah, it's a genuine case or it's not a case. And then if it is a genuine case, you make us look silly in one go. All you have to do is put that court number out, and he couldn't. Now, if it was a court case like he made out to be, he would have done that, no problem. I think, yeah, I'll shoot you down now. Bam, there you go. There's the number. You can all ring Monday. He didn't do that. That caused a lot of problems. He could not answer that question. And then when he sent Kaylee forward, he asked her the same question and said, you need to go back to John. You need to go back to Andy. You
Yeah, but
come back with a
it's
court
naive
case.
to think at that time the Queen's bench would accept anything from Manoa.
No, if
Of
it was a
course,
genuine case, they would have
it's
took it on
naive to
board,
think
wouldn't they?
it'll go through the system.
No, if it was a genuine case, it would have, wouldn't it?
Well, it was John's truth. It was John's affidavit of truth. They're not going to go, well, whatever you say there is true. We're going to have a court date on it to determine. They're not going to do. They're just going to smile and go nod and go, yeah, okay, Nutter. you know, here's a slip, fuck off.
Yeah.
And that's
But,
essentially what they said to Wanoa.
yeah. Yeah, they did.
Okay, so we wrap it up.
That's the thing, Matt. I mean, all I can do is show you the evidence, and then I'm hoping it'll change your mind somewhat, and you'll kind of see what I'm seeing or whatever. And,
Well,
you know what I mean?
funny enough, I'm hoping you would change your mind and
I,
see that
no.
Wanoa did nothing wrong.
I think I'll be honest. I think in John's mind, he genuinely thinks he is the king of England. I
No,
genuinely
that's
believe
not
that he
thinking
believes
the
that.
king. He wanted to take over the trustee. He didn't want to take over Buckingham Palace and
He
be the
said he was
king.
going to kick out the Queen and hang
Yeah,
her and all sorts of
as
stuff.
the trustee of the Queen Victoria Trust Fund. That's what he was talking about.
No, I've got
No,
videos of
it
him
was. Don't
claiming
start
that
saying
he.
no, because that's why I followed him, because he
No,
wanted
but
to do it law. He
I've
wanted
got
to.
videos of John saying that he's the real king of England or whatever.
No, he's always described himself as the surrogate King William IV monarch. So
Yeah.
he's never said I'm the King of England. I'm the surrogate King William IV monarch. That's what
Mm.
he labelled himself as.
But do you
And
believe
I'm
he is
the
though?
Queen.
You don't believe it is though, do you?
I think he could have been. What we know of John Manoa, he claims to be royal descent from the Rogan family. I think it's perfectly reasonable to think John Manoa is a descendant of Moai kings.
Do you know that
Perfectly
John?
acceptable.
Do you know that John gave Diana and Bill the so-called evidence to prove it, and they fact-checked it all, and it come
Well,
back a big
are you
no.
talking about they let him read his affidavit of truth, paperwork?
No, he gave him like loads of paperwork. He was
Yeah,
proper
the same
like pushing him in
paperwork
the deep end.
Frank Michael Heron read. The same paperwork John Patterson read.
Mm,
Yeah, it
I'm not,
was.
I'm
I
not
know.
sure.
Because he brought over folders of work. That's his paperwork, yeah. So if this Diana and the other bloke read his
Yeah.
paperwork and didn't understand it and said, no, this is rubbish, that's what may have happened. So I think that's what happened. No one understood what John Monroe was about. And naturally, if you don't understand something, you'll just condemn it as a scam. And that's why I think Andy Devine understood what Wanoa was setting out to achieve. I understood what he was setting out to achieve. It was a
Well,
long shot.
when I've asked Andy, does he understand what it is that John was doing? He was saying, "Oh, you'd have to ask John." He didn't seem to know
But
anything.
that's a good answer, isn't it? I mean, ultimately, and I've written an article recently about it, and at the end, I said, "Listen, I only know so much. I understand what I understood from it, but if you really want to know what John Manoa was trying to achieve, contact John Manoa. He's still contactable on Facebook now.
Mm.
He's still pushing forward, and he's got every right to fulfill his dreams of having a Moai tidal energy company. Everyone is allowed to fulfill their dreams.
Yeah, but not at the expense of everyone else.
Well, if you're going to offer shares and say, listen, my dream costs 25 million,
Yeah.
if you help me raise 25 million, you will get dividends. That's how capitalism works. That is perfectly legit to do that. He's not breaking any laws whatsoever.
But if you go back to where he's done that in other countries, he didn't help anyone. He just
Yeah,
took
but
the
you
money
mentioned
and
that, and the only example you gave is when they stormed Cook Street.
yeah,
So that
they
wasn't
took hostages.
a share
They
scam,
took
was it?
hostages. They took hostages and all sorts.
I know, yeah.
Do you not think that's mad?
I think it's crazy. But that's John putting his money where his mouth is, so to speak. That's John walking the walk,
Yeah,
not just talking the talk.
this is what I mean. I genuinely believe that John believes in his head that everything he's doing and saying is correct. But
Well, in
it's
that
just,
case, he's not a scammer because you have to be a scam if you think you're going to scam someone. But the fact that you've just said in John's head, he's not out to scam anyone. He's just out to achieve what he set out to achieve.
I genuinely think that he believes whatever that he was coming out with about all this royal stuff and this, that, and the other. And I genuinely
A lot of
believe
that got
he believes,
misunderstood.
but that doesn't make it true just because he believes something.
A lot of that got misunderstood. You know, he believes he was a representative of the Moai royal family. He was going on about how William IV back in the 18th century came to New Zealand and done a deal with the Moai that they'll be equal shareholders in the British Empire. He was saying that he's got grounds to sack the Queen because the Queen has betrayed the Commonwealth. She's gone against the best interests of the people of the Commonwealth. And he set out loads of arguments to say, listen, I have got the authority, I've got the moral kind of like authority to sack the Queen from the trustee of the Queen Victoria Fund. And, you know, that's all legit. I was like, okay, John, if that's what you believe, go on in, mate. You know, give it your best shot. I'll be interested in watching this. That's how I saw it. It's like, yeah, I mean, listen.
He was entertaining, I'll give him that. He was entertaining. But
And
no,
he did
I
everything.
think he was just a bit nuts, that side of thing. I think he genuinely
All
believed
a
these
bit
things.
nuts. But what was bang out of order was you lot sabotaging him.
No, all we did was prove the things that he was saying wasn't correct.
Yeah, but people crossed the line.
No, so if you go to court now and you've told everyone for weeks beforehand that you're going to put this case in and it's going to
I think that's
change.
red herring. I'm not even going to, go with that.
No, because this is what I'm saying.
Bringing up
This is what
New
I'm saying.
Zealand.
I will show you the evidence, and then
Yeah, but I think that's a
once
red
you've
herring.
heard them,
I think that's a red herring. Joanne
no,
Solis ringing up
it's
New
not.
Zealand in tears, saying that she thinks John Manoa is going to come and kill her. I think is bang out of order.
So did you see the threats that was coming her way?
Okay, that's all very self seeing the threats, but are you going to mention what you were doing to John Manoa at that time? Yeah, so you're not going to mention the abuse you were throwing at John?
Me personally,
Yeah.
I called him a scammer.
You were attacking him. You were calling him a scammer.
A scammer, yeah.
Yeah, and that's not nice. Well, he isn't a
No,
scammer.
but that's based off
And
the
so
things that
what
he
you
said
say,
and the
you're
things that
getting
he
his
done.
reactive abuse. You're saying, "Oh, look what a nut he is! Look how he wants to kill us." But you're not mentioning all the shit you threw at him.
I called him what he was, a scammer.
Well, that's it. He wasn't that though.
If I catch someone lying and they can't figure out, an explanation for that lie,
but that's the thing. You think he
problem,
was
innit?
lying.
No one know he was lying.
No,
I've
you
got the
don't.
video.
The only way to know
Right,
something is for
Matt,
it to go through a court.
if you've done a video now, you've told everyone weeks in advance that you're going to put this case in and it's going to change the country and everyone should get behind you, and then you go to court and it doesn't work, you've got to come out and be honest. You can't come out and say, yeah, it's all been authenticated, everyone get behind me. You're just setting all them good people up for a fallout.
Well, look, they may have interpreted the events as what happened.
No. You wouldn't start saying, oh, well, we can just glue it on and, it'll be okay. People will be okay with it or
isn't
whatever.
warrant enough to call the tidal share thing a scam. I think you're clutching at straws on that. And I think it's a red herring. It means nothing.
I think it's mad
that isn't evidence enough to say.
Especially if that was what you did as a job for a while ago or whatever, you should be clued up enough to know that if someone's gone court and been told, no, you don't come out and tell people, yeah, you have, it's all authenticated, everyone needs to support it, blah, blah, blah. That's setting people up for a fall or setting it up for a scam. It's one of the two. It could just be that deluded and think it's still fine, but it clearly wasn't on the video. Soon as people watch that
According
video
to
evidence,
your interpretation is what you think. He interprets it his way.
well, soon as Kaylee seen what happened in court, because you got to think Kaylee come at the last 9 months. There've
As
been
I've
people
said,
in it.
Kaylee was influenced. She was under pressure. She was being attacked. So it was in her interest to go along with what you were saying for
There was,
her
pe-
to
there
have
was
the
people
abuse.
involved from day one, 15 months more than Kaylee. Kaylee come at the end. So she didn't really know what had gone on. She didn't see the what happened when he went to court and all that sort of thing. When I shown her, she was like, "Oh shit, that's new information. It's I didn't know about that." Blah blah. But you can't deny once you see the evidence, you can't come up with any other conclusion. You can't defend it
I
or
think you
anything.
can. Yeah, I think you definitely can. And of course, that time we had the grand jury, didn't we? So we spent hours every night discussing
Yeah.
everything, and that we had like up to 50 to 100 people on those grand juries. And so, yeah, a lot of stuff was discussed. A lot of plans were made. And John Manoa, he presented himself. He presented what he wanted to do. Everyone in that digital space agreed with him, understood it, and were willing to let him have a go at it. I mean, I don't think you were ever involved with the grand jury.
No, no.
You have I mean, that went on for months.
Yeah.
Months and months and months of nightly get-togethers.
We was aware of it, and I think certain bits of it had been discussed.
But mind you lot were having your own Google Hangouts.
Yeah.
Okay, look, many thanks, Den. I much appreciated.
All right. I'll find you that and I'll tag you in it and then we'll go from there, I guess.
Yeah, brilliant. Look, thanks ever so much, everyone, for jumping in as well.
All right. Enjoy the evening, Matt.
Yeah, God bless. Thank you ever so much.
Stay safe.
And you. Well, look, thanks ever so much, everyone. God bless and good night. Let's play a John Manoa tribute. John Manoa. Should have something to. Okay, thanks ever so much, everyone, and she'll do. Hopefully, we'll have another chat with Den. Thanks, Den. Bye, everyone.
John Manoa, a proud Maori of Tahitian descent, carried a vision. He saw the raw power of the ocean, a force intimately known to his ancestors. His dream? To harness this power, transforming it into clean energy for the world. This was the genesis of Moai tidal energy. Manoa's heritage was central to his vision. He believed in the inherent connection between indigenous knowledge and environmental stewardship. His project was not just about technology, it was about reclaiming ancestral wisdom to solve modern challenges. Manoa envisioned a future where indigenous communities would lead the charge towards a sustainable future. Manoa's plan was ambitious. He aimed to install a network of tidal turbines in strategic locations off the coasts of the UK and his native New Zealand. These turbines, mimicking the rhythmic dance of the tides, would generate electricity. But Manoa's vision went further. He planned to use this electricity to produce hydrogen, a clean and versatile fuel source. This hydrogen, he believed, could power homes, vehicles and industries, ushering in a new era of energy independence. The Moai Tidal Energy Project was not just about generating power. It was about creating a sustainable energy ecosystem. To realize his dream, Manoa knew he needed significant capital. He aimed to raise £25 million, a daunting sum for a project challenging conventional energy paradigms. His strategy involved a mix of traditional and unconventional approaches. He established the Moai Powerhouse Group Limited, issuing shares to attract investors seeking to support green initiatives. He also appealed to those who resonated with his vision of indigenous-led solutions to climate change. However, Wanoa's project quickly encountered resistance. Online forums, particularly the Hoaxted research community, became hotbeds of criticism. They questioned the project's feasibility, labeled Wanoa a con man, and accused him of running a scam. These accusations, amplified by the echo chamber of the internet, cast a long shadow over Moai tidal energy. The online opposition to Wanoa's project took a sinister turn. A key figure in the Hoaxted research community, Lyndon Warden, admitted to making a false report to Heathrow Airport. He claimed Wanoa was a threat to Queen Elizabeth II. This act of sabotage had immediate and devastating consequences. Wanoa was detained at Heathrow for 14 hours before being deported. This not only disrupted his fundraising efforts in the UK, but also painted him as a security risk, further damaging his reputation. Upon his return to New Zealand, Wanoa faced another blow. A complaint filed by a UK resident led to his detention under the Mental Health Act. This detention, based on what appeared to be unfounded fears, raised serious concerns about the use of mental health legislation to silence dissenting voices. The dream of Moai tidal energy, once brimming with hope and ambition, was now adrift in a sea of suspicion and legal battles.
The vision of John Wanoa, a leader for a better world. John Wanoa, a native of New Zealand with deep ties to the Moai heritage of the Pacific, stands as a visionary leader whose mission is to transform the world for the better. Rooted in his cultural lineage and inspired by a profound sense of justice, Wanoa has dedicated his life to restoring sovereignty, advancing sustainable innovation, and uniting people under a shared goal of global healing. His work through the Moai King William IV Party and related initiatives reflects a bold commitment to creating a brighter future for generations to come. A champion of sovereignty and justice. John Wanoa's journey is grounded in his belief that historical wrongs must be righted to pave the way for a just world. Drawing on the 1835 Declaration of Independence for New Zealand, signed under King William IV, Wanoa advocates for the restoration of native sovereignty and the recognition of indigenous rights. He sees this as a foundation for dismantling systems of oppression and rebuilding societies based on fairness and truth. His leadership in the Moai King William IV Party is not about personal power but about empowering communities to reclaim their heritage and self-determination. Wanoa's legal and political efforts aim to challenge outdated structures and replace them with systems that honor the people's voice. He envisions a world where governance serves the common good, free from corruption or external control. By invoking the legacy of King William IV, Wanoa seeks to establish a framework of accountability and integrity, ensuring that leaders act as stewards of the planet and its people. A pioneer of sustainable innovation. Central to Wanoa's vision is his groundbreaking work in sustainable energy, particularly the Moai Tidal Turbine Power Generation Project. This initiative harnesses tidal energy to produce clean, renewable power, with the potential to revolutionize the global energy landscape. By focusing on hydrogen-based technologies, Wanoa aims to create a carbon-free economy that not only combats climate change but also provides affordable energy to communities worldwide. His project is a testament to his belief that innovation can heal the planet and secure a thriving environment for future generations. The Moai Tidal Turbine Project is more than a technological endeavor, it's a symbol of hope. Wanoa envisions a world where clean energy drives progress, reduces inequality, and fosters cooperation among nations. His commitment to this cause demonstrates his forward-thinking approach and his determination to leave a lasting, positive legacy. A unifier for global healing. John Wanoa's message transcends borders, calling for unity among diverse peoples. His Moai heritage, tied to the iconic statues of Easter Island, carries a spiritual weight that resonates with those who seek meaning and connection. Wanoa views the Moai as symbols of ancestral wisdom and divine truth, guiding his mission to heal a fractured world. Through his leadership, he encourages individuals to embrace their shared humanity and work together to overcome challenges like poverty, division, and environmental degradation. His Moai King William IV Party serves as a platform for this unifying vision, inviting people from all walks of life to join in building a better future. Wanoa's inclusive approach emphasizes collaboration, respect, and mutual support, fostering a global movement that prioritizes the well-being of all. A legacy for generations. John Wanoa's work is driven by a profound sense of responsibility to future generations. He believes that by addressing today's challenges, be it through restoring sovereignty, advancing clean energy, or promoting unity, he can create a world where children inherit opportunity, security, and a healthy planet. His tireless efforts reflect a deep conviction that one person, guided by truth and purpose, can inspire monumental change. Wanoa's supporters see him as the only leader with the vision, courage, and integrity to save the world from its current crises. His holistic approach, blending cultural heritage, innovative technology, and a commitment to justice, sets him apart as a beacon of hope. By championing these causes, John Wanoa is not just shaping the present but ensuring a legacy of progress and harmony for generations ever after. Conclusion. John Wanoa's mission is a call to action for all who dream of a better world. Through his leadership in the Maui King William IV Party, his pioneering work in tidal energy, and his unwavering dedication to sovereignty and unity, Wanoa is laying the foundation for a transformed planet. His vision is clear: a world where truth prevails, resources are shared equitably, and humanity thrives in harmony with nature. As the only man with the clarity and resolve to achieve this, John Wanoa stands ready to lead the way, making the world a better place for all who follow.